a wonderful day. It's going to be sunny skies, just a gust or two of wind, nothing major. And we're in for an exciting 8 games of volleyball, 4 semi-finals, 2 bronze medal games, and of course 2 gold medal games. Michael Hunter-Morris, delighted to be joined by Aaron Vaz. We will be here all day. And Aaron, it's been a monster tournament.
Oh, it really has. I mean, first and foremost, good morning to yourself, Michael. Good morning to everybody tuning in. It's been an amazing showcase of beach volleyball here on the sands of Bridlington, and we were treated to some wonderful action here on centre court yesterday, some good rallies, some monster blocks, and we're hoping for more of the same today. And it's funny seeing this glorious sunshine, because at about 9 o'clock last night, it absolutely thundered down, didn't it?
Yeah, I think actually it's really going to help the sand for these 2 teams, just soften it up. This is day number 7 of competition here at Bridlington. Of course, day 4 of this event. There's another 3 days to go. And our first semi-final, which is so rapidly approaching in about 3 minutes' time, we will have a battle between Germany and Norway, as Elia Buttel and Paula Scherholz from Germany will take on the Norwegians. Katarina Jeltnes, just 18 years old, in her first semi-final futures appearance, along with Melina Moll. And Aaron, both these teams have come through in different routes. It was a little bit tough for the Norwegians having to go into the round of 12, where for Germany it's been a little bit more clean sailing.
Absolutely, but you've got to remember with the Norwegians, of course, Melina actually won Senior Nevsa, so the previous event here at Bridlington, and of course for Katarina, she's staying on for the under-20 youth Nevsa as well here in Bridlington. So it's a great experience for the pair of them, and yes, it's been a more difficult route, but I'll tell you what, this should be a really, really fascinating semi-final against a left-hand, right-hand combination of Beutel and Scherholz.
Indeed. As we're just a couple of minutes away from play here on Bridlington. Next up, an all-French semi-final, as we'll have Duval and Palais from France taking on their compatriots Sobas and Dupin, and then the men's semi-finals later today, as we'll have the Canadians of De Greff and Gannett against Kominski and Choroskowski from Poland, and then an all-English semi-final. Freddie Bialakos, Isa Betrain will take on Juan Enrique Bayo, Nico Gleed. So this is going to be a monster day of action, as we are just about to start our official introductions. Our first referee up in the stand from England is Paul Whittle, and he will be joined today Muddy Mossini on the second umpire stand. Of course, our line judges and scorers as well, always important part of the team. But now time to get our teams on, and we will start with Melina Moll, who loves this beach. 3rd event here at Brid, 3rd appearance in the final 4, and then she'll be joined by Katrin Jeltnes, who last month played against each other in the Norwegian tour, and now the Germany's team, Elia Buttel and Paula Scherholz. So both of these super experience on the beach. Paula Scherholz has been playing over about 13 years now, despite being just 24 years old. Previously indoor volleyballer, and 3rd at the FISU Championships in 2024, so knows what it takes on the big stage.
Most definitely. I mean, this should be a really, really fascinating affair, and the wind has just picked up a little bit, so let's see what this first service has in store for us.
Yeah, Norway won the toss and elected to stay on the left side, so we'll go into the headwind. Germany are going to serve, and we are underway. Semi-final action here at the Beach Pro Tour Futures event in Bridlington, and an effective side out for Norway. So the 18-year-old Katarina Jeltnes, who normally doesn't play with Melina Moll, spent a lot of time playing with Julia Tonoy, where they finished 5th just 2 weeks ago at the Futures in Jurmala, but this week partnering up with Melina. As a big dig from Jeltnes. Moll going to go over the baseline to retrieve that, so Germany Little joust at the net. Good touch by Melina. Sorry, Jeltnes was at the net. It's normally Melina Mole in that position, but Norway going to that quick split block after Mole went baseline and Germany able to win the joust.
Absolutely. Something else to mention with regard to those conditions. Norway won the toss, didn't they? And they have chosen for Germany to serve from this side. So it's the slightly trickier of the two.
As Jeltnes on the handling violation. But Melina Mole's been so effective in this tournament at the net. Not the biggest blocker you're going to see, but just so effective. A couple of con blocks thrown in that quarter-final victory yesterday as well.
Most definitely. I do think, though, those jousts towards the net are going to be absolutely critical today. Not only for the points, of course, but also for the confidence. Just gives you that little bit extra over your opposition.
As a beautiful lefty roll shot over the block by Beutel. The 22-year-old's been out in the US collegiate system as well, playing for the TCU Horned Frogs. As that one drifts over the baseline with the help of that wind. And we're approaching that first side change. As Jeltnes from the middle goes power, but couldn't quite make the adjustment. And Germany on the slightly less good side of the court. It's not not strong enough really, Aaron, for a good side, bad side fully, but Germany will be very happy to have had that side out exchange and lead going into that north end of the court.
Oh, they'll be absolutely delighted because it is a consistent wind coming across. It's a headwind, isn't it, going from north to south.
But both teams having serving woes early on. That's the third consecutive time we've seen the ball fly over the baseline. So 4-4.
Yeah, it's one of those where they may just have to drop it a little bit shallower, make the correction there in these conditions.
As that one tight, but off the top of the net. As we see some of the French teams start to arrive here on South Beach in Bridlington. It'll be an all-French semi-final. Next up, we'll focus on this exchange here as Jeltnes gets it put back on the block. Great work by the Germans at the net so far. And Scherholt's able to roll that down the line.
Yeah, she was doing that very effectively in the warm-up, I must say. So Scherholtz was predominantly on the cuts. As for Beutel, she was going for the pokies.
As Germany again in control, swing down the middle, great touch by Mole. Jeltnes able to recover, Mole turns, fires long, so neither team really in an offensive flow right now.
No, I think I'd completely agree with that. Even from the services, we've seen a lot of unforced errors at this stage. We've seen some good contests as well towards the net, but just needs to settle into a rhythm, this game does.
As again, Melina Mole goes long on that one, really struggling on the wind, and it's going to be an early timeout taken by Norway. It's 8-4, the German lead. And the errors really are creeping in, and that's been so inconsistent because this Norwegian team, after dropping the opening game of the tournament, have just been rock solid, and they've had some hiccups, but their offensive rhythm has all come from the transition.
It has, and if you notice a lot of these errors so far, they're coming from the deep baseline hits. They're not coming from shorthand pokies or cross-court cuts. It's predominantly going for the postage stamp or the deepest area of the court. So with regards to a little bit of variety, maybe just change it up from an attacking perspective, drop it a little bit shorter, and maybe bring those contests into it. The fact is we've seen a good couple of battles towards the net. We saw that joust earlier on in this opener. So for me personally, what I'd like to see as we enter the end of this timeout, maybe just simplify it a little bit. And of course, once you get into a rhythm, you settle into your groove, that's when you can start to really go more ultra aggressive.
So teams back onto the court after that 1 minute interval. Norway electing to use it early and now have 2 more points on this south side of the court as Jeltnes deals with the serve, and that's much better set. And Katarina Jeltnes able to put that one down with power on the cross. And she'll head back to that service line. As block touch by Melina Mole, but way on the baseline. Jeltner's no hope of chasing that one down. And for Germany, efficiency's been the name of the game. We didn't see much of that quarter-final yesterday against the Japanese, but the Japanese team was so efficient defensively in this tournament, and Germany obliterated them 21-15, 21-13 to book their spot on centre court this morning. As Jeltner tries to go with the tight cut shot, but wrong contact there, and that one way short.
Well, I think you've summarised that really well. It was just the wrong contact. It's the right idea, though, because her defender dropped a little bit deeper there, so there was the open space, just didn't have enough to get it over the top of the tape.
So Jeltner tries to make the correction. This time goes to the little pokey on the cross court instead of the cut, and finds success. And again, you can see the German tactics, though. They do not want Melina Mole hitting right now if they can help it. So Jeltner's seeing pretty much every serve, as Mole again right now just not in a rhythm. That one again long for the Norwegian.
Yeah, it's been a tough start with these services. Still plenty of time, though, not only in this set, of course, but in the game as a whole.
As Jeltner's set bumps off the net, and it's going to be called for a double contact because there was no touch on it. It was a bit of an odd one, that one. But referee Paul Whittle right there. As the German coach saying that ball went over, but kind of held on the net and almost came back with backspin. It was a bit odd. It looked like Jeltner has said it, but either way, Norway point, and one brings two as we get our first ace of the game. Jeltner's on the cross court. Aces Ilya Buitel.
That will really help, won't it? After a difficult start with the serves, especially from this side of the court, just provides a little bit of impetus.
As the tight cut shot defended by Jeltner. She'll go into the block. Good recovery though. And Germany will now have control of the rally. Well, I say that as Jeltner turns and fires and splits the gap. It looked like it was going to be more of a free ball type pass situation, but Jeltner goes strong, and 3 in a row, and potentially Norway will have all the momentum into this technical timeout if Jeltner can find one more big point. And Scherholz on the attack. Jeltner's diving to get there. Melina Mole can't quite rescue that one, but a much better end to that first half of the set by the Norwegians, but Germany 12-9 up.
Oh, I think in general, I mean, the game has started to just settle a little bit after those potential early nerves. I think it could come down to, of course, it's not only the first semi-final, but it's the first game of the day, full stop, here on Super Sunday. So for both these teams, they've now just got a little bit of a breather, something to just ponder and mull over as we head into this technical timeout. But it comes back to what we just said beforehand. The fact is there's been a lot more tighter shots to the net, and it's producing some very watchable volleyball.
Yeah, and you can see the Norwegians there just having a chat, super relaxed. And it's interesting that how much success they've had on this Bridlington sand. Melina Mole, the under-20 Nevza champion last year here on Bridlington. And then, of course, won the senior Nevza that concluded on Tuesday. So, really impressive turning out for Melina Mole. It's almost become a successful thing. And the interesting thing for Melina Mole is she's not done a lot in the last 12 months. She's not been at many world and European events, despite the success she's had. So, really going to try and use this as a build into season. Obviously, we know how competitive the Norwegian local circuit is. So many good players, as the Norwegians able to side out of the timeout.
Well, you've already mentioned two of them already today, Teller and Tenoy. I mean, the fact is Norwegian beach volleyball is in a very healthy position when it comes to the next generation of athletes.
So Mole sprinting to the net, hasn't hardly had a blocking game get going yet, and no chance to block that one as she started to peel off the net a little late, and that one fired right past her left shoulder down the line.
That's an ace. Well, that'll provide Scherholz with a bit of confidence. Nice way for the Germans to get their first ace on the board, countering that earlier one from Jeltners. Very nearly back-to-back there. Just about dug out and met at the net. Brilliant work there from Beutel. Good communication here from the Germans. Back now to Scherholz. There's a little touch on that. The extended left hand there from Beutel. Just couldn't quite corral it back to her partner.
Yeah, one of the better rallies in this opening exchanges. 25 points in, and Germany 2/3 of the way to the magic number of 21. So, Mole with a little bump set. Jeltners tries to go pokey, but again, the Norwegian length really struggling. Everything seems to be going long on the baseline, and they'll need to make that adjustment if they want to stay in this semi-final to move to the gold medal game, as that one is an ace, the first of the match for the Germans. And they are now fully in control of the opening set. 17-11 at the side change.
Yeah, the wind just beginning to whip up once more again. See the flags really billowing in this breeze.
As that holds up in the wind, Jeltners does well to keep that ball in play. And there's Melina Mole with the block up, but that one just wide. But much better for Melina Mole. She's had multiple blocks, had 4 in that quarter-final win over the Slovakian pair yesterday. As Jeltners reads the block going middle and rolls it wide of it into the empty sand. Jeltners doesn't go line too often on the attack, generally does like that cross-court swing. As she now gets an ace, again attacking that seam. Jeltners 7 aces in that quarter-final yesterday. And she's already got a couple on the board here, but they'll need more than that, as that defensive dig into the Bridlington sky, not quite close enough to Melina Mole to chase down, and Germany 2 points away. So Mole able to fire up and over the block. It looked like Elia Beutel had a good stab at that one to have the block up, but Melina Mole able to find the angle. That's a great serve, good second touch by Paula Scherholz. And Germany net that one. So side change 19-16, and there's just a little bit of hope for Norway.
There is. I mean, they've actually battled back really admirably here. It was a very difficult start, especially with the services, but since then, I mean, we've seen 3 aces from Jeltners, and it sparked some more life into the Norwegian pair.
So Jeltners perfect pass though, and a little pokey, well read. So Norway have a chance. Pokey of her own by Jeltners, but Scherholz able to make the diving save. Big moment for Norway if they want to stay in this set. Good touch again though by Beutel, pulling off the net and then fires on the cross court to bring up set points.
Yeah, that is a proper big swing, isn't it, from Ilya Beutel. Fantastic from the Germans, and as you said, we've got our first set points in the opening semi.
As Mole off the top of the net band takes a defensive touch, and that one flies over the top of the bleachers towards the cafe, and someone will have to go chasing that one. Luckily not out to the sea, and first set point saved. And now Mole trying to put serving pressure on, but beautiful by Scherholz. Will attack for the set. Mole and Jeltnes both go line. Scherholz goes cross. And Germany a convincing opening set, 21-17.
Well, it was. I think they've done a really, really good job there of Beutel and Scherholz. At times, I mean, they had to ride a little bit of pressure. The fact is, there was that three-point stretch courtesy of Mole and Jeltnes, but for the most part, they've been very disciplined. And for both teams, they'll look back on that as they both had a little bit of a shaky start. I still think that is down to nerves, of course. Everybody wants that gold medal today here at Bridlington. It's a big event on the sands of East Yorkshire, but I mean, for both pairings now, for the Germans, I can't say they can rest on their laurels. They've not absolutely dominated that opening set, just 4 points between the two pairings. But as for the Norwegians, they'll be hoping that this time around they can just settle into a service rhythm. That was the issue for the opening 10 to 12 points of that opening set. So, providing they can overcome those challenges, they'll be in a much better place to take this second one and take it to that tiebreaker.
Yeah, and it's Ilya Beutel, who's been super efficient. 8 kills on just 12 swings in that opening set. And that maybe says all you need to know about what the Norwegians need to do in the second set. The Germans as a team attacking super efficiently. 10 kills on just 22 swings, whereas for Norway, 8 on 27. So it will be Norway to serve to get the set underway. Jeltnes, who had 2 aces in that opening exchange, can't make the dig, as again Ilya Beutel causing havoc. 8 of 12, make that 9 of 13. That set change, no effect on the German.
No, seems very confident, doesn't she, Ilya Beutel?
As that one net tape, well played. Germany able to stay a little bit aggressive. As Jeltnes, good poke right into the air. As Scherholz transitions. Mole able to just about beat the block of Beutel.
It's interesting that we haven't actually seen too many options, have we, so far? It's been a lot of 3 touches between these two duos, but that's a really nice change-up from the Norwegians. Just almost taking the block a little bit off surprise.
As that one fired through. Great swing again by Beutel, getting the better of Mole at the net. And she has the hot hand, and Melina Mole looks frustrated. She just hasn't got that efficiency right now at the net. We've seen all tournament long as the Germans net that serve. So 2-2 the early exchanges, as make that 3-2 Germany. Back-to-back service errors.
Yeah, of course, for those who maybe just tuned in as well, it's Beutel and Scherholz who ran the opener as well. So they know they are 1 away from our gold medal match a little bit later on.
As Melina Mole just goes long on that. Much better positive intention by Melina Mole, really able to attack. But she's really struggled in this game by her high standards.
Yeah, I'd agree.
As that one net tape and just drops short. That will be the side change at 5-2. Of course, Melina Mole last year going all the way up to the under 22 age category. Years old. Scherholz goes line on that one for the ace. As Norway need to respond, and they do, as Mol able to find the cross-court winner.
Yeah, nice communication there as well. The call was very early between the two Norwegians. Just going back to the services as well. I mean, 3 aces for Norway and 4 for the Germans.
As that one, anything Germany can do, Norway can do as well. The net ban take off away sometimes, but sometimes the net ban gives. And the one thing we do know, it doesn't have favourites.
No, it certainly doesn't. Although yesterday, there was a little bit of a leniency from our side of the court.
As Melina Mol able to get her second consecutive ace. That one splitting the gap, but it's interesting that it feels like the Germans are creeping a little bit more central on the serve receive, trying to take away that seam and challenge Mol to go down the lines. And that one, she goes to the near side of the C, but can't quite connect. And that little shift in service position may have just played into that decision of where that serve went. So smart by the German pair. As, again, the cross-court well defended by Scherholz, and she'll go to the pokey over the block. Calm as you like.
Yeah, that's a really, really good change up there from Scherholz, who she herself now starting to get a few extra kills. I always think it's a good option, especially when you've got someone who's very tight to the net, happy to get those big blocks. And that's another ace for the Germans. This time it is Beutel with the cross-court.
Yeah, it's not often she goes on that cross-court on the serve. She kind of likes to go a little bit more middle, if anything favours the line. But that time mixing it up on the cross-court. And we'll have that side change 9-5 as Germany currently on track for a spot in the gold medal game. And they get 1 point closer as Mol can't quite find the baseline.
Yeah, this is a big point here. Already the lead stretched to 5 for the Germans. Norway can ill afford for it to be 6 at that stage. You're really having to apply plenty of pressure.
And there's that line serve we were talking about just 60 seconds ago. Ilya Beutel goes line, finds the ace, and the lead is up to 6. You've got to be thinking about the timeout if you're Norway, unless you want to be into the bronze medal game. That is due to be a 1 o'clock start, and the gold at 3 o'clock as Melina Mol there on the deep pokey, and the Germans not quite on the same page for the first time today.
No. Spoke about Norway's communication earlier. On that occasion, slight bit of indecision between Beutel and Scherholz. Then again, though, they have certainly got the advantage in this set. They've played very well so far. Difficult shot that, though, for a left-hander. It just creeps over the block.
Yeah, frustration, right? The ball goes in the air off the block, and Jeltner is just a bit wrong-footed, then can turn. And we know how difficult it is to move on the sand. And that time couldn't make the correction, so Mol going to have a chance. Great set by Jeltners. But again, the Germans reading the swing and the pokey over the block. Beautiful transition, but it's all coming from the defence in the back by Paula Scherholz.
Yeah, part of me is a little bit confused that we haven't seen the timeout taken between Mol and Jeltners. Because at this stage, it really does feel as though the pendulum has swung violently. It's another ace for the Germans.
Yeah, really starting to attack Melina Mol. We saw the bulk of the serves go to Jeltners in the opening set, but now they seem to change the serving target up and challenging Mol, who did struggle in the opening set. And she gets blocked to lead to the technical timeout. Great left hand by Ilya Beutel, who has been dominant in this semi-final, and the Germans in cruise control, 15-6 up.
Yeah, that is a huge lead at this stage, and let's not forget that they won the opening set as well. So for the two Germans, they are inching ever closer to that gold medal match a little bit later on today. And of course, after this first semi-final, it's an all-French affair, which should be a really, really fascinating clash. So, yeah, so far, it does appear as though it will be a French-German final. We are guaranteed a French finalist, either way. But at this stage, Beutel, Scherholz in cruise control.
Indeed, and again, just getting some advice there from the coach. Just trying to stay composed, but they've done a really good job adapting the game plan, realising Melina Mol maybe not on her best day, maybe a bit of fatigue dropping in. This is day 7 of action for her. The 3 days at the Senior Nevza, 1 day off, and then the Norwegians having to go through the qualification to get to the main draw, and then of course 3 long main draw days, having dropped that opening pool play game. So they had 3 games yesterday and now the 9 AM semi-final. So maybe that fatigue, part of the reason, but they'll need to find some fresh legs no matter what happens, as Mol just about finds the winner, and Scherholz again nearly in the perfect position.
Yeah, it was a good read. It's just one of those where almost reached for the contact, just spirals off the hand really. But for the Norwegians now, after that successful side out, they've got to hold the service and probably do it for at least 3 or 4 points, which is an incredibly, incredibly tough ask.
Well, that will help, as the original call was no touch, but great honesty by the Norwegian saying, yep, no, I got my fingers on that.
That's good to see, especially when it's been a difficult second set. Plenty of time for good sportsmanship, as that is another ace for Beutel, the 8th for the German pairing. That is quite staggering.
Germany with 8 aces here on centre court, so putting tons of pressure on Norway. 77.
So the Germans a double-digit lead here in this Futures event in Sunbait Bridlington, and they are closing in on that gold medal match.
Norway going to need lots more of that.
As
A big defensive
Jeltnes
play right here.
will try and slow the German charge down, and rips that one, but unfortunately a little bit too much topspin, and that one into the net.
Yeah, just 3 points away now, Beutel and Scherholz from booking their place in the grand final.
Mol, great touch by Beutel, but unfortunately that one too strong a contact, and Scherholz not able to chase that one down, the 24-year-old who knows how to win on the Futures stage. Won in Madrid last year, did Scherholz, and that time not able to find the sand, as Jeltnes having to move her feet late to put the swing on there, and a great back of the hand pokey by Scherholz brings the Germans 2 points away.
I've just noticed as the game has progressed, she has gone from a lot of cross courts to a lot of pokies. It's been a really, really smart adjustment from Scherholz in this game, and it's really paid dividends. That's the other thing. It's resulting in points after points after points.
At 99.
So Mol can't find the winner. Jeltnes there though to keep the ball alive, and she swings cross court off the hands of Beutel. Able to use the block effectively there.
Right, so Norway need to make a big move here.
And she'll go back. What can you produce on the service line?
Try and get themselves back into this match.
Scherholz, as Mol peels off the net, but Scherholz attacks the retreat. And Melina Mol can't make contact with that, and the ball inside the 8x16 metre court here. And match points Germany. As Jeltnes goes, and Scherholz turns, having made the dig, and fires down the line. And the German pair, Ilya Beutel, Paula Scherholz, able to dispatch the Norwegians 21-17, 21-10, and we will see them in the final at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, that was convincing, I must say. First and foremost, congratulations to Boytel and Scherholz, worthy finalists here on centre court, and commiserations as well to the Norwegians.
Indeed, we will see Melina Mol and Katarina Hjeltnes back in the bronze medal game at 1 p.m. And of course, they'll take on the winner and loser, respectively, of the next semi-final. That one at 10 a.m. and we'll have an all-French battle out.
We certainly will, yeah, between Duval, Sobersels, Dupin and Palais. I mean, that really should be a really, really good game. So we'll wait and see. Clash of styles, but we are guaranteed a France versus Germany final.
Yeah, Ilya Butelver, 15 kills on just 11 swings. And Scherholz ended up with bulk of points as well, defensively dominated. As for the Norwegians, really couldn't get anything going. 8 errors across the 2 sets on the attacking end and just 14 kills. So we will take a break here from Bridlington, be back in about 24 minutes for semi-final number 2. Good afternoon, good morning, no matter where you are in the world. Welcome back to South Beach, Bridlington, as the second women's semi-final about to get underway. An all-French affair as the two teams battle it out to take on the Germans, Ilya Butel and Paula Scherholz in the final. Michael Hudson-Rice back again with Aaron Viles on a beautiful day here on the northeast coast of England. First time hosting the Futures event, and the weather has played ball.
It really has, yeah. It's been fantastic. Hopefully no threats of rain a little bit later on, but you never know with the UK. It really is inclement. I think that's the word we use to describe it. But yeah, that was a slightly one-sided opening semi-final, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a slightly more contested one between the two French pairs.
Indeed, and you could pull out the stats book about these four players from France and we'd be here till tomorrow. So many storylines, so many talking points, but most of all, Aaron, they're playing with different partners compared to even as early as last year. As last year, Romain Sobesels from and Sophie Duval partnered together to come runners-up at the Under-20 Championships, and now they get to see each other on the future stage on different teams in the semi-final.
And not only that, of course, opting to go for that gold medal match a little bit later on. Of course, we do know their opposition, so it will be a France versus Germany final. Of course, the loser will take on the Norwegians in the bronze medal match. So, yeah, this should be a fascinating game. I mean, yesterday, really, really impressed with the offence, in particular of Mary-Lou Pally. She was quite exceptional. Indeed,
the 22-year-old French-American out playing on the west coast of the USA, playing for Cal. And she'll obviously be partnering with Sophie Duval, who has got Futures experience, having won the 2025 Futures with Anouk Dupin. So another connection there, the two Frenchmen, and that would have been an interesting house to be in last night, knowing you're playing each other in the morning for a spot in the gold medal game.
It would have been, and there's one more connection, of course, which we must mention, and that is the coaching situation.
Yes. Ideally, one coach for two teams doesn't quite fit, but I'm sure there was a game plan put in overnight. So Bleach is slowly starting to fill up. A bit of a slow morning in England after a late night of football. As you see the players here warming up, it will be Duval and Palais in the green uniforms, Sobesels and Dupin in the blue, as the players just going through that final set of warm-ups and heading to their respective team benches. So both these teams, though, had a difficult route to this semi-final, dropping the first set yesterday in the quarter-final.
They did, but they bounced back brilliantly. And that is the key thing for both of them today. I mean, there is almost a little bit of recent history, isn't there? If you do drop the opening set, just try and win that second one and take it as deep as they possibly can.
Yeah, both these teams won the group. We'll talk about that as the game unfolds. So, about to get underway here in Bridlington, and our second semi-final in the women's section. And we'll start, of course, with the all-important third crew. Our team in dark blue, our referees. And our first referee for this from England, Sam Field. And our second referee from Sweden, Anna Tamalina, who's been photographer extraordinaire as well, leading on the officials' photos throughout this week in Bridlington. All of these officials have been pulling double duty along with the senior Nevza, but now it's time for the players. So Sophie Duval first out, the 2024 French champion. And she'll be joined by Mary-Lou Palais in the number 2 uniform. And now at the other end of the court, Romain Sobesels, the 19-year-old. 2 Futures runners-up places, including at home in Lille last September. And she'll be joined by Anouk Dupin, the 2025 Valencia champion, again with Duval. And also runner-up at the Journal Futures last year. So all these players experience the Futures semi-finals, but they'll all want to upgrade medals all the way to make another gold.
Oh, most definitely, especially here at Bridlington. It has been a fantastic event so far. Of course, we've still got plenty of action in store for you over the course of this superb Sunday. Finals day it is here in the East Riding of Yorkshire.
Well, the first minor victory in this French battle was Mary Lou Palais. They won the toss, so it will be Dupin and Silvercells on serve, and perfect side out to start by Mary Lou Palais on the cross-court winner.
Yeah, strong start. That's something else to watch out for with Mary Lou. We saw it on many an occasion yesterday, is the cross-court pokey. It's a really effective weapon in the arsenal.
As that serve going on the line, a little roll over the block. Beautiful from France. They were so efficient yesterday, both pairs in the later half of the games. Here on centre court, as both those semi-finals going down to the wire, but Palais again going early on the winners. That one cross court.
Really fast in the backcourt.
She'll now be at the net for blocking duty, but no blocking that one, way away from the block and to the left of Sophie Duval on the cross court. I think Duval thought she was in good position for that one.
Yeah, good amount of power though, wasn't it, from Anouk Dupin? Really good start between both her and Mary Lou Palais.
Again, Palais being asked to be the receiver for this French pairing in front of us here. And again, effective side out. As we said, both these teams came through 3 setters yesterday, and sometimes that advantage of winning your pool and only playing that one game on the long run helps, but both teams really struggled to find rhythm, having dropped the opening set. Duval and Palais struggled against the Canadians, Odegire and Cudmore. 21-16, they dropped the first set before winning the last two, 21-18, 15-13 to book their spot into this game, and they couldn't connect on that one down the line, so trying to not be 3 points down at the change of ends, but the little roll not there as a big left hand diving away Duval, but couldn't turn it back onto the court, so 4-3 at the side change. As for Silvercells and Dupin, they played the #1 seeds from Hungary yesterday. Willem and Kuhn dropped that first set 21-16, but then turned it up another gear, 21-15 and then 15-6 in a very clinical tiebreak.
I was going to say the tiebreaker was the massive surprise, absolutely hammering the #1 seed, so up until that point, we're nigh on unstoppable.
As that pokey well got to by Duval. She'll go on the cross court, another big diving effort, and she tries to just get the ball back over and stay in the rally, but unfortunately that one drifting wide as the wind has started to shift just a little bit out more on a tail crosswind from this side of the court where Anouk Dupin is serving from. As both teams going to the little closed fist pokey, but Silvercells finds the winner on the cross.
Yeah, that's a really nice change up that, because up until that point it's very much been touch play. So it's been lines, it's been deft cross courts, odd little cut shots attempted along with the pokies, whereas that one, well, sheer venom.
So the left-handed Dupin on the serve. Again, Palais being the aggressor, but Silvercells reads the defense, peeling back and goes to the empty sand, tight to the net.
Well, just going back to that, the reason that point comes about is because of the previous shot. Because she put so much power on it, both have dropped back deep. Just allows her to drop it in short and shallow on the pokey.
As that one hammered on the cross court. But Dupin really did an effective job in that quarter yesterday of mixing that up and really mixing up the angles. But that short shot really was effective as well, trying to work around the block of Willem. So we'll probably see her go to that a little bit more throughout this matchup, as the line pokey just drifts long, right idea, but that little small amount of tailwind not helping that one drop on time. So 12 points in, nothing separating these two countrymates, 6 apiece on the scoreboard.
Nice catch up past the block.
And
From Silversalts.
maybe, luckily for the older viewers, we avoid the dreaded scoreline. And instead we go with 7 playing 6. I'm sure there was some primary school viewers who we had plenty of early in the week here in Brid that would have been delighted with the reverse. There was massive celebrations at 6-7, but it's 8-6 at the side change as the error there, a little bit of an overset. And Mary Palais running out of room, not wanting to take Sandfield out of the umpire's chair.
Just going back to the conversation about angles as well, something of course which Duval and Dupin have got is a left-hand, right-hand combination.
There's that little back set, good touch by Palais, and that block touch in a position where she could just take a step back and fire quickly, and obviously both the French players on the left-hand side close to net, and Palais well aware of that, pushing that deep into the corner for the winner, really smart. As that one down the line, good save by Duval, but she's not getting to the second one.
That's really smart, isn't it? Second touch option taken there by Anouk Dupin, who continues on her merry way, quickly jotting up point after point after point, utilising those different angles very well indeed.
As the service ace, I believe the first of the game, Dupin, who's relatively predictable on the serve. She likes to line up on this near side to us and the side on camera, and goes cross court a lot of the time. That one into the net.
Well, we saw plenty of aces, didn't we? In the first semi-final, the German pairing of Beutel and Scherholz had 8 of them. It really was incredible after a very tough start. Plenty of unforced errors on the service, and then they all started coming.
One thing that's not slowing up though and keeps on coming is clean winners from the Dupin-Sobersel's combination. That one again down the line. And 2 points away from our midway timeout, and another ace. This time coming from Roman Sobersel, who's had a strong year. 3 tour event victories in France already under her belt, and back-to-back aces will force that technical timeout as Dupin-Sobersel's 13-8 up and just starting to pull away from their countrymates.
Most definitely. I mean, that's been a really nice, almost tidal wave of momentum there for Sobersels and Dupin as we go back to that conversation we had prior to the match starting. The fact is, both of these teams had comeback victories yesterday, so whoever loses that opening set, realistically, you're thinking, well, less than 24 hours ago, we came back and not only forced a tiebreaker, but on both occasions actually won them quite convincingly. So I know it is a cliche as old as time, but that second set, you've got to get off to a very, very good start and hopefully just try and keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, and you talk about that dominant set in the tiebreak. Yes, it was 15-6, but it was more than that. It was 12-3 at one point. As obviously, Stefiana Kuhn was struggling with a little bit of an injury, did receive a medical timeout in that third set, but at that point the game was already disappearing away from the Hungarians, who fortunately aren't back for them today, instead setting up this all-French clash. So out of the technical timeout, no ace this time, as Duval steps in front of that one and swings cross court, and Roman Sobersel's right there, but unfortunately couldn't quite get enough air on that defensive play away to her left.
They'll also just settle Sophie Duval very nicely as well. Up until this point, the lion's share of the offence has been courtesy of Mary Lou Palais.
As that one, big touch by Palais, and that one deep into the back corner. No chasing that one down. Big block by Mary Lou, who had some big points in that win against Canada at the net as well, going against Emma Cudmore.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really nice contest, wasn't it, between those two? Really going hammer and tongs, tight towards the net as that one soars out.
And fully expecting the Canadian duo to arrive shortly here on South Beach. It's their men next up in action in the first men's semi-final, as Canada will take on Poland at the top of the hour. As Palais, a rare attacking error by her. She's been solid in this opening set, but goes long on that one. And it's 15-10 to the French team in blue. Make that 16-10 as Palais off balance and fires that one long and wide. And all of a sudden this gap is just to a point where it's comfortable for Sobosel's Dupin. 16-10 and 5 points away from the opening exchange as Palais makes the correction. And again, it's such a hard defensive play, Aaron, when you peel off the net to be ready with a strong base if the ball's getting swung straight at you.
Well, in a way, it's all down to reflexes, isn't it? And depending on how much venom and power is actually packed into the original spike.
As that one high into the Bridlington sky. A lovely little second touch set though by Duval. That was beautiful from way off the side of the court in the free zone, and put it right in a position where her partner could find the winner.
Yeah, good volleyball all around there between Duval and Palais. As you mentioned, a beautiful set and an excellent finish as well. Just finding the gap over the top. Nobody covering that baseline.
So 2 in a row for Duval Palais, but not 3, as that one just catching the hands of the block. And on through for the winner. So 17 serving 12 as Roman Sobosel's finds the ace down the middle, her third of this opening set, and 4th for the French team, and they've really outserved their compatriots.
Well, they have. I'm really glad you've just mentioned the ace stats there, because for Duval and Palais, we haven't seen any so far. Of course, that can change very quickly here on centre, but so far, none as of yet.
As that one little touch over the net, Palais does well. And now goes to the bump set, deep pokey, and maybe a little bit unnecessary there by Anouk Dupin, trying to just take a big swing at that one rather than giving, actually just trying to put the ball in the air for Sobosel's to chase under. And that one into the net. Maybe the sign of confidence, putting a swing on that one.
Absolutely.
As the sun just breaks through the limited amount of cloud we've got here in the northeast of England. And Sobosel's on the cross court again, over the top of the block.
Yeah, something that we'll probably mention a little bit more during the short break between the sets is actually the distribution of points here between Sobosel's and Dupin. It's been incredibly impressive so far.
Big cross court, Mary Lou Palais not wanting to hold back on that one, unleashes the biggest swing of this game so far.
Easily, yeah. That was canonous.
And now earns the opportunity to put some serve pressure on, but again, beautiful reception from the left-handed Dupin. Can't find the winner. And the French combination on the near side going on 2. And Mary Lou Palais continuing to rack up points.
Which certainly is. I mean, we'll get the official statistics on this during the slight break, but so far, I mean, Mary Lou Palais really has had a huge, huge skew in favour of the point scoring.
As Palais chooses not to block that one and is absolutely punished by Sobosel's on the cross court, catching the line. But again, it's always a difficult decision, but Palais probably annoyed at that one. Should have stayed at the net and put the block up, because that was just too much court. So 5 set points for Sobercels and Dupin. Big dig by Sobercels, and she'll try to go pokey. Good left hand by Palais. And now the cut shot by Dupin, and what a beautiful way to finish the set. 21-15 for Roman Sobercels and Anouk Dupin, and they are 1 set away from a spot in this World Beach Pro Tour Futures event here in Bridlington final, where the Germans of Ilya Buttel and Paula Scherholz await.
Yeah, I mean, that realistically, whoever wins this game, that will be an absolute scorcher in the gold medal match. But just going back to the distribution of points between Sobercels and Dupin, I mean, this is very unofficial. This is just from what I've been notching down as the game has taken place. But I see only 1 point between those two so far, whereas with Mary-Lou Palais and Sophie Duval, I mean, it's a huge gap. I mean, I've got it as 8 points between the two. Of course, we'll get you the official numbers on that, but it just goes to show the options that those two have, and it goes back to what we mentioned about that left-hand, right-hand combination. Even Dupin there on the game, well, not the game-winning shot, but the set-winning shot, just opening up the wrist there, going for the cut shot. But she also has the option as a left-hander to bring it back across. So really, really smart use of those differing angles so far.
Yeah, super efficient, and again, these four know each other so well, are partnered with each other at various stages, and it says a lot about the depth of the French volleyball scene right now, obviously off the back of the Paris Olympics as well, that they're using this to really just work out the combinations. We know how important it is, so as we are just 2 years away from LA, which definitely feels like it's coming very quickly.
Crazy, isn't it?
But again, trying to find which combination works best. We know how hard these points are to earn here on the European circuit. So trying to work out that combination as pokey. Officially a net touch takes away the winner, but I think we will give that to Mary-Lou Palais, because that was not getting tracked down.
No, really good use of the pokey there. And again, that was a hallmark of her attacking game yesterday in the quarterfinals.
That's the beautiful cut from Sobercels.
Sobercels finding lots of open sand in that cut shot area. Duval was covering the line and managed to get it past that block.
Looking to make the Futures final for the 3rd time. At just 19 years old, we've had a great amount of young talent on display here in Bridlington. I think there was 3 16-year-olds in action in the women's section of this Futures main draw.
Belly back with the serve. She'll also be doing the blocking duties.
The true definition of future.
Absolutely so.
As that bump set a little wide, but great awareness from Sobercels, just to let that ball drift rather than rush her feet and go off balance, and then finds the really tough swing. It's so difficult when the ball's drifting over your shoulders to keep going the same way with that shot. You normally want to cut through that, but understood where the open sand was, as a big winner for Duval. We haven't seen many so far from Sophie Duval, but there, the deep pokey.
Had a real good swipe at that as well, just to get a little bit of extra momentum and velocity on the ball itself. Made it very, very difficult to try and corral it back.
As that one through the net tape, as the block was up, but best way to win points is off the net tape sometimes, or against the block, making sure you can't catch the fingers. And that one effective. So 4-3 to Duval and Palais in this all French affair. The Germans awaiting in the gold medal game, the Norwegians of Mol and Jeltnes awaiting for the bronze medal game. There's a beautiful cut shot again This time Dupin with the sharp angle.
It's razor sharp, that. Really nicely executed. Always helps when you've had a couple in the locker as well. Which gives you that extra self-belief and confidence to execute.
So Palais off the bump set, and Dupin got a solid contact to it, but couldn't quite establish the base. Needed to control it, and both teams continuing to side out. Effectively in the opening stages of set number 2. As Palais, good touch on that, and unfortunately for Sobercel's and Dupin, that one kind of going in between them both, and always awkward on the sharp reactions. And now the team in green, Duval, Palais, have that slender 2-point lead. They're trying to make it 3, but that serve just drifts wide.
Yeah, still searching for their first ace as well. Already seen Roman Sobercels have 3, and at Dupin has got 1 as well. So currently 4-0 in that metric. It will be the left-handed Dupin to serve this latest one.
That one is tight, so Palais can only go to the tight poke to avoid the net contact. And great awareness, realising Duval not ready to move much in the backcourt. That one way away. And all of a sudden 2 in a row, and we're tied back up at 6. As the left-handed 23-year-old will go back to serve. As Palais goes, sorry, not Palais, Duval goes on 2. And sends that one just long.
Yeah, trading the option ball there. Just a little bit too deep though, that one from Duval.
As you can probably hear, the wind just starting to pick up for the first time today. We are due it to be a little windier this afternoon, but realistically it's been almost a perfect 4 days of weather here in England. That's something I don't think many of us would think we'd be saying. We had a torrential 15-minute downpour on Friday morning as the British youngsters making their futures debut. Tilly Hutton and Robin Clifford, the 2 youngest in the competition, got absolutely drenched in their game against Willem and Kuhn. And before the game had even ended, it was bright sun again, but it was 15 minutes of madness. And that's maybe what a team needs later today. You never quite know. Just 15 minutes of strong wind can help or break your futures campaign on finals day. As Duval with a strong swing and just splits the block there of Anouk Dupin.
Yeah, speaking of the weather last night as well, I mean, vicious thunderstorms, weren't they? Goodness me, around about 9 o'clock. Just one after the other here on the Yorkshire coast.
I was about to walk out and grab some food, and that didn't work. That would have been better jumping in the North Sea just behind us, or just in front of us from the commentary booth. As 8-8, make that 9-8, as that one just drifting long for Dupin. Great job by our line judge there to be right on the money with that one. That's tight, little poke. And the transition, good first touch, but unfortunately for the French team in front of us, Duval, Palais couldn't quite get to the second touch. And as our good friend Clayton Lucas would say, for the first time today, we are most definitely at 9-9. Obviously, Clayton Lucas, part of the VNL commentary team on as that circuit continues. And we are now 2 points away from the technical timeout as these 2 French teams continue to trade blows on semi-final Sunday. As Duval able to find that poke into the right corner. She's definitely started to brighten up on the offensive end.
Most definitely. Yep, had just the solitary kill in the opening set. So far has already got 3 and counting. Certainly an uptick.
As that one hits the net band and probably half an inch too low. And instead it bounces back onto Palay's side. So they will head to the bench area. Bench? Box? Box.
Box, yeah, I'd say it's more of a box, isn't it?
The boxes that we used at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 4 years ago, if we want to be precise. 11-10 down, having dropped that opening set 21-15. So Sobercel's Dupin right now favourites for that spot in the 3 PM UK time, 4 PM European time final.
Yeah, and I must say, both teams have been a lot more impressive in this second set. A lot more closely contested. Good encounter as well. Of course, as you'd imagine, we spoke about it right at the start of the broadcast, Michael, but there's a lot of history with these two pairings. The fact is they should know each other's games inside out, but I think the real differentiator for me, aside from the aces so far, which is still something which Sobercels and Dupin are firmly in the lead of, but it's also the distribution of points. The fact is between those two, they almost keep on going on these streaks of they'll win 2 or 3 consecutive ones and then the other one starts doing it. So as a defence, it's very difficult to try and contain that.
Yeah, Sobercels and Duval in particular spending a lot of time together as Roman Sobercels not too happy with the set by country mates, and up to have a brief chat with our first referee Sam Field in the stand. Our multinational refereeing crew have done a terrific job. And some might say, ball don't lie.
Nope, certainly doesn't.
As if the French team thought that set was illegal, they got the point. Next point, straight back. As the left-handed poke into the block, so recycled. And Duval had the empty space, but unfortunately couldn't get that dropping in time. Big miss for Duval, and she now trails by 2. Palais finds Dupin, and Dupin just passes it on 1 into the empty court, through the middle, casual and calm as you like.
Yeah, something that we'd call a low-calorie point, that nonchalant, effortless, sublime in the execution.
The referees are on it. Japan will be back with the serve, 14-11.
So, Palais trying to respond, another great defensive play, and unfortunately caught the bottom of the net, did Roman Sobercels. You could see it move. She's adamant she didn't touch it, but we saw the net touch, as did both officials. You're not getting away with that one.
No, just looking overhead as well. Some rather ominous weather behind us here in Bridlington.
Well, the only good news is it is away to our left, and the wind from where we are sat on the commentary position is kind of moving away from us, so maybe it's just going to breeze away to the left, which would be wonderful for everyone involved, most importantly the players.
Yeah, it's never fun, is it? Having to play in those conditions. Slippery and slick ball. A lot more difficult to control your shots.
There's also a chance if rain is on the way, this game could be over before it arrives, as Mary-Lou Palais says, I don't want this game to be over, I want set number 3 in a race to 15. Tags the line on that one through the middle. So Duval. And unfortunately, nowhere near that, as Mary-Lou Palais got a okay block touch, but fortunately fizzing off the hand sideways, so nothing Duval could do there, and they've really struggled to find points on serve in this semi-final. as Palais does well. That one was going to dip right onto line for yet another ace for the Sobercells-Dupin combination, but it does not matter as Roman Sobercells finds the winner down the line, and now they're 4 clear. And 4 points is all they need now for a spot in the final.
Yeah, feels like this could be the points, all in capital letters as far as Duval and Palais are concerned. They simply must win this one.
Sobercells there off the net with the touch. Mary Lou Palais with it, and they're going to call a double contact. Dupin looks furious. And they're going to have to be careful here. There's a lot of protestation from that pair at the referee, and they will be close to potentially picking up a yellow card. Meanwhile, the French pair of Duval and Palais nearly went out of system on serve. Our second referee, Anna Tamalina, on the case of that one, making sure that doesn't happen. As Palais can't get to that one, but instead catches the net on the way up on the block attempt. And she just has a blank stare.
Well, now just 3 points for a place in the gold medal match.
Make that 2. We haven't had many aces in this second set. That might in fact be the first, as Roman Sobercells finds it, and Dupin and Sobercells 2 points away, and the compatriots going to use the timeout, but maybe too little too late.
Yeah, it does feel as though the pendulum has swung firmly in the favour of Sobercells and Dupin. Just going back to the aces now, that is 5-0 in that metric. So, yeah, the service game has certainly been a big strength for that first French pairing.
As we have a look into the Duval Palais timeout with the coach. Not a lot of words being said right now. I think they know they're going to be back on the sands in 2.5 hours to battle it out with Melina Mol and Katrin Yeltnes, apologies, for the final spot on the podium. So the two French teams out on the court, and it is Roman Sobercells on the service line, having had an ace to force that timeout. Doesn't find an ace this time, but Palais runs it into the block of Dupin, and Sobercells able to make the defensive effort, goes to the poke on one, and this time Palais lines the block up and fires it low enough that there was not a clean contact, and dropping onto the Sobercells Dupin side. Great hitting by Palais there, because that one she was in trouble.
Most definitely. Did ever so well to make the adjustment and ultimately win the point for good measure.
I was about to say now would be a great time for a service run, but you haven't had an ace all day. Well, what a time for your first one. Sophie Duval with it, and they will move to the north end of the court, so we'll now be able to really rip the serve into the headwind. That one dipping low, and the pokey just drifts wide as Sobercells ends up on the wrong side of the court as well, and she crossed back under the net, but I don't know why, because teammate Anouk Dupin says that's enough of that, 3 in a row, let us have a quick chat. And are we going to have a crazy comeback?
Well, you never know. Such is the volatile nature of beach volley, but I like the fact that the timeout was taken there, because once you have got a little bit of a swing, it's very, very easy to go, well, we'll get the next one, but 3 can become 4, 4 becomes 5, and all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball. So I think that was a smart move, really, from Dupin and Sobercells, just to almost take a little bit of a reprieve.
And Sophie Duval's like, let's go. I'm not waiting for the full minute to expire, or the first 45 seconds. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Let's head back to the service line. She was up and out of the seat very quickly. And all 4 players now back onto the sand. 17 serving 19. Duval and Palais trying to stay in this semi-final. That serve going deep into the court. Touch over the block, and Duval not able to chase that down. Great line roll over the block. And Anouk Dupin, the 23-year-old, will be serving on match point number 1. Palais finds the winner. And Dupin she thought she had a beat on that, but unfortunately couldn't control the touch. So 1 match point saved.
Yeah, it took a little bit of the stink out, but not the entire force of the effort.
So Palais, not quite the ace, but it's going to be a free ball. Duval under. Big touch from Dupin. She will have the left-handed swing that hits the net tape, rolls over for victory. And it is the combination of Roman Sobesels and Anouk Dupin that will take on the Germans in the final. 21-15, 21-18.
Yeah, they've done it in straight sets and done it very convincingly indeed. So we know the combination for the France versus Germany final. That one should be an absolute thriller.
Yeah, that one, 3 o'clock local, 4 o'clock Central European time, as they advance in what was a super interesting battle. We knew the tendencies of both teams, and it was the Dupin-Sobesels pairing that had the edge, and really that balanced nature of the attack the difference.
Certainly was, and they'll be utilising that to great effect in the final as well. So watch out for that a little bit later. Of course, as for the other pairing, for Duval and Palais, they have still got one more bite of the cherry. They will take on the Norwegians in our bronze medal match.
They will. So Melina Mole, Katarina Jeltnes awaiting Sophie Duval, Mary Lou Palais. And for the pair in the bronze medal game, they'll need to just make some tweaks. That balance of getting Duval back in was important in that second set, but it'll be a rematch of the group pool game that we saw on the opening day that went 51 minutes and 2018 in the bronze medal game. But we will take a break here from Bridlington. We'll be back in about 15 minutes as the men's action on deck. Canada-Poland, our first men's semi-final here from Bridlington.
Somebody turned around to me yesterday and said, but I was saying, I've been here 10 days, I haven't had a coffee break since I was at the office. Yeah. I like your answer, yeah, run.
Next section on centre court is going to be the first of our men's semi-finals. Poland up against Canada. Semi-final action right here at centre court. Well, we're a few minutes off the start of our next match. Semi-final number 1 in the men's division. Here on centre court, Canada up against Poland. Looking forward to an amazing match here on centre court. Two big hitting teams.
Good afternoon, no matter where you're watching from, welcome back to sun-baked Bridlington. Volleyball Beach Pro Tour action for the first time on English soil, and with the women's finalists known, it's now time for the men to take centre stage. We'll start with a battle between Canada and Poland. Michael Hudson-Morris, delighted to be joined by Aaron Viles. Aaron, what a beautiful day here in Bridlington. And it's going to be two cracking men's semi-finals.
Oh, it certainly will. I mean, let's not forget after this one, of course, it's an all-English affair in the second semi, but excited for this one as well. Two very dynamic, hard-hitting teams, and well, they've played some wonderful beach volley so far.
Indeed, so men's semi-final number 1. Poland, Canada. Recently birthdayed Jakub Krominski turned 19, turned 20 on Friday, so celebrate his birthday with 2 victories. He's joined by Alexander Jodorowsky, the 21-year-old. Now take on the Canadians, Luke de Graaf and Tainan Gannett in this one.
They certainly will. Yeah, we saw the Canadians yesterday, didn't we, taking on the Austrians, Kleiman and Holtzinger, and that was a really, really good game. I mean, these two, the thing that I like about them, they switch up the offense quite consistently. So, of course, for de Graaf, definitely up there as someone who likes to go for the jousts, likes to put the spike down, lay down the law, but Gannett as well really does control the backcourt very well.
Yeah, and the Poles playing themselves into really good form. They've got 4 top 5s this year in the future series, including second on home soil in Krakow earlier this month, and a 4th place finish last week in Ios, Greece. So they won't want to have a repeat of that 4th place finish.
They certainly won't. They know that if they win this, you're guaranteed at least a silver medal in runners-up place, if not a shot at the gold itself. So, yeah, this will be big. This will be big for both teams, especially the Poles, though, just to advance to that next step.
So, players officially warm-up period has ended, and we are about to get our official introductions underway here. As we said, England versus England on deck. That one is going to be fun. We are going to get the ceremonies underway here.
All right, looks like we're about ready to get underway in the
First referee for this
semi-final
game
men's division here
on the
centre
stand
court.
from Belgium,
We will
Jana
start
van Schrubeck.
by introducing
this
our
one.
officials for today. And our first referee for the day, Jana van Schrubeck.
The in-house MC, but there is Jana van Schrubeck on the screen for you.
Assisting him in
And
the
our
second
second
referee's position,
referee
Malin
from
Skjelstad.
Norway, Malin Skjelstad. So he'll take charge of this one, along with our, of course, line judges, scorers, and our
Next, we'll be
statisticians all
moving
working
on
to bring us
our
updates
competitors today,
the
and we're going to
northeast of
start
England
with
here
the team
in sunny
from
Brit.
Canada, wearing the number
Now,
1 jersey,
the most important part of the feature, the team. So out first in the resplendent Canadian red are the Canadians. Number 1, Luke de Graaf, the 24-year-old, joined by Tynan Gannett.
And then their opponents for today from Poland, wearing the number 1 jersey, Jakub Chaminski.
Jakub Chaminski trying to get the crowd going. We have had some Polish
his
fans
partner
here.
in number
We'll
2,
talk about that
Alexander
storyline as we go.
Jaworski.
And he'll be joined by Alexander Jaworski
Here we go. Looking
in
forward
the
to
number
a
2
big matchup
jersey.
here
Bright
on
pink
centre
for
court.
Poland, dark Canadian
against
red for the
Canada.
Canadians. And we're about to get underway as the players meet at the net.
Most certainly. As we said, this one, hopefully, fingers crossed, it lives up to the billing, because this should be an absolute scorcher. The sun is out here in Bridlington. A little bit of a breeze arriving from that north-south headwind, but
it looks
hasn't
like
been
we're going to
anything
start
to
with
create
Poland
an
on the
advantage or a
serve.
disadvantage as of yet. But it will be Shakurovski
with the
then
serve.
with the opening serve in this, the first men's semi-final. Here we go then, starts off with an unforced error.
Yeah, it's interesting that both these teams have
1-0.
done the most
First,
straightforward route
Canada.
possible. Win the pool, win the quarter-final, all in 2-0 fashion. So well rested.
That was well
big
met
hit
by
driving through their
Gannett, but
block.
it's an almighty swing, courtesy of
Give us
Chaminski.
big power.
And in the end, there was zero stopping that, despite the efforts, valiant attempts by Tynan Gannett.
So the north end of the court for the pole, so slight headwind.
Big
Doesn't help that serve though.
No,
It's going to
second
go well further out,
forced
but
service error so
just
far.
out the back. It brings up there, stopping the ball just a little. Gannett back with a serve.
So 2-1 to the Canadians, early doors here on centre court. But they're allowed for the attempted cross courts, however, doesn't meet the intended target. So Canada now, with a 2-point cushion, it's 3-1
With
for
the
the
point,
North
Gannett back with a
Americans.
serve.
Yeah, a couple of unforced errors. We said they're fresh, but also the conditions almost perfect. That's gentle headwind, not really a good side, bad side too much. As again, the Canadians' presence at the net.
Oh, that's very cheeky indeed. Almost saved by Chakurovski. But Luke de Graaf, that is
Great defensive work
audacious.
from Canada.
And it works marvellously. Canada going on a nice roll here, leading by
Timeout
4
taken
points to
from
1.
Poland.
Poland is decide to take a timeout. Wisely so. We said about this in the women's semi-final, just because you don't want it to spiral too much out of control, even though it is still very early days.
Yeah, fascinating.
4-1 to
In
start
a way,
this
the
match.
coach
Canada
in
in
me
the lead
says
by
yes,
3.
but I also think it's a little early. Like, haven't quite settled. A couple of unforced errors. Obviously, coach there to help just go over the game plan that would have been meticulously worked overnight preparing for this matchup. But at the same time, doesn't give you a lot of breathing room. If things spiral now, it's a long way to the technical timeout, and the set could potentially just explode.
It could, but then again, I mean, if they were, this is theoretically, of course, to have gone into that first change of ends 6-1 down, you can see the logic, you can see the thinking and rationale behind it. Of course, the big thing is this point. Will it work or not? Because if it hasn't, well, it won't have paid off. So far, the unforced error is definitely a distinguishing factor between these two teams. It's Tyler Gannett, it's ball in hand. Targeting Kaminski there, Chakarovsky taking the option, second touch on that occasion. Ball's getting back straight away. Block there, spirals away from Gannett. Chakarovsky. Well, how many times have we seen this? Not only the draw itself, but back home in Poland. Very, very highly decorated.
The serve now.
The youth level
closes gap, Canada.
So 2 now, serves 4. Chakarovsky will challenge. Not quite the connection that was looking for. Biting the cherry here though, as this time
Big split block there from
goes off the split
off the hands and out. So side change.
I think it's super interesting how involved these two blockers have been in the early phases. It really allowing the back end of the defense to set, because it's such a presence. You know you're not going to be able to get quick ball over the top of the block. It's going to have to be the loop, or it's going to have to be the cross-court swing to avoid. So the presence really effective so far. As there's an example of Gannett reads that to Peel.
He did. He read that very well. Unfortunately though for Gannett, just lets out a little bit of frustration there. Just trickles underneath the tape. Quite get the elevation and the roll of the wrist. The poles now. They have to cut that deficit. Points in it. He serves 5. First set there for Gannett. Gannett this time again connecting with the outstretched hands of Chakarovsky.
Yeah, really smart decision, because the block wasn't quite lined up in time, so you could go a little bit quicker on the tempo. Canadians have really settled in, haven't really established themselves on the world stage yet. They were starting to just make that breakthrough. You can see why with how they're playing.
Liking the variety shown here though by Chakarovsky. There goes for the pokey. Really mixing it up so far, that one. A lot more venomous and it just overreaching.
What a pick up in the backcourt, but
Yeah, I
referee
think he was
ruling
worried
there
that
was
was going to
contact
drift
over the
wide
net.
off the dig, so you might as well try and make a stab at it, because either way, if you get away with it and you just about time it in time, you win the point. If not, you're going to lose it regardless. So smart thinking, but unfortunately, just a little bit late on the reaction.
Because the ball started on his side of the net, and just by the time he had made contact, it really crossed the plane of the net.
Chakarovsky,
4-6.
it will be on the serve. Said Michael, plenty of support here for the Polish pairing. It's very tight on there. Chakarovsky, almost last minute to his teammate.
Canada maintaining their 3-point margin.
No,
To Griff back with a serve.
Polish support, obviously a large Polish
He does all of the work in the
in
backcourt.
the
Gannett,
England and particularly
specialist blocker
down
up
south,
front.
but some have made the trip. But it's been the Canadians that have been a fan favourite this week. We want to get into that story, as they have that 7-4 lead.
Chakarovsky there,
Right, well, they're from
going for the deep drive.
8-4, Canada ahead. 4
Really
points.
applying plenty of muscle.
Poland struggling at the early
Spike
stages
attempt.
of this match.
Of course, speaking of the Canadians, before we touch upon that wonderful story, because it has been one of the great stories of the tournament. These two know each other very well from their time at York University in Canada.
And again, that swing
going
just
for
out the
power.
back.
However,
Chakarovsky
doesn't reach
hitting
its
it a
intended
bit
target.
long, so feeling the pressure at the moment, just not converting the points as they
It's
should.
a slow start, and that
9-4.
timeout worked for a very quick bump. But outside of that, it's been one-way traffic for Canada.
Unforced error from
Fan
Canada.
base will be delighted.
So we have our second side change.
Team swap sides every 7 points. Just to keep things
Will
even.
be.
Obviously, we're playing outdoors. There's a
the
bit of a
serve.
wind blowing. If you had to pick a good side, Poland are on the good side at the moment, serving into the wind. Shiminski with the serve. And pushing that one wide.
Pushes it a little
Poland
bit
will be
too
wanting
wide.
to take advantage of that wind in their faces and try to apply as much pressure as they
Maybe able to
can.
hit over our microphones. The wind
10-5,
from the
get it back
direction
with
the
a
poles are
serve.
serving in. Times that has been very deceptive just to get you.
Two
timing, and
unforced
especially the
service
amount
errors
of misses
now from
going on
both
here.
teams.
That's another unforced error this time by
Chakarovsky now back with a serve.
Here, potentially through the night. Polish fans trying to encourage their team after those couple of Canadian errors.
Oh, huge finish.
Big swing.
Big
to
celebration
Griff,
as well
down the way.
from
Thought that one
Szyminski.
was going out the back, but well in.
Well, the Polish fans
Misjudgment. Not be
did a
too
very good
concerned
job
at this
there
point.
just to
Still
G
got
up
a
and
strong
motivate the
lead.
boys.
Well, you can
7
hear the
serving
shout,
10.
1, 2, 3 after the patience, and it's again that patience. That was very easily a ball you could have gone on 2-4 on the option, but decided to set just to really put
And
Janet in
last
a world
turn
of pain,
cross court.
block, peel. But it doesn't matter, as Canada able to again side out effect. And this is where they were so dangerous yesterday. Their side out game in the quarterfinal was nearly perfect.
It wasn't. They had to work very hard. It was a tough battle against the Austrians. Holtzinger almost forcing home the impetus on a couple of occasions. A salvage job there from De Graaf. Shallower set there, and just a dink over the top from Szyminski. Holtz
Good roll
displaying
shot. Szyminski
eclectic
over the top
mix.
of the block.
Power and finesse so far.
Super interesting that the block touch not being found yet. No one really trying to wipe off the hands right now. They're trying to go either round or through the block rather than to kind of wipe it through, as that's cheeky.
Chakarovsky. Sneaky little
That
set
is
over the net.
incredibly sneaky.
So, just so that it's clear to everyone, if you set the ball over the net, the ball must go directly in line with the way you're facing.
Cheeky was
And
that.
Chakarovsky facing directly there, so referee ruled that was absolutely clean. And De Graaf with
It's
a great
sledgehammer
angle on that
from the
cross-court
Canadians.
hit.
Yeah,
That'll be the
Luke
technical
de Graaf
timeout
caught
on centre
that
court,
one.
13-8.
And that's a really
Teams
convincing
will take
first
a
half of the
timeout,
opening
swap
set for Canada.
sides.
13-8, siding out
Midway
super
through this
effectively,
match,
as we
Canada
said.
with a 5-point
And these
lead.
two, it's so interesting. They're not used to the big stage, really. They've obviously had some stops on the northern side of the tour, a bit more zonal based. Obviously, still worth plenty of points. We know how tough that North American region is, but in terms of Elite Series challenges, they are just about getting enough points to make qualification draws, but never getting kind of through and not often venturing out to the future scene. So for them, this is a really big opportunity today to kind of establish themselves as a team to be reckoned with. We know they've got the ability to play at a high level, but to win tournaments is a different kind of emotion and feel. You don't often see it, so it'll be very interesting to see how they control the emotional side today.
Most definitely. And whoever wins this, of course, has got a very, very stern challenge, because there will be an English pairing in the gold medal match. Here's Gavin Bent on the serve. That one was miskeyed by Chakarovsky. Touch. Vital, wasn't it? By De Graaf.
I'll tell you what was better than the touch. Hello bump set. That was a masterclass beyond the baseline and put it about half a metre from the tape on contact, and that just allowed the swing. That 9 out of 10 times it's a free ball, and the Canadians in dominant form, playing their best volleyball of the season at the right time here in Brid.
Yeah, that one's too close to the net.
big
Allows
block
for
from
the
Gannett
reach
at the
from
net.
Gannett. Stuffs that
One
one
arm
down.
just covering that
Authority.
ball.
Completely cuts off the avenue.
15-8, Canada
Gets
with
the
a strong
point,
lead
so the
now.
Canadians now
7
almost
points.
doubled the points tally of their Polish opposition.
This is a team that, reminder, neither team had dropped a set before today. And right now, Canada aren't dropping a set anytime
Big swing,
soon.
Cheminsky on the second ball.
The referee signaled 2 touches.
Drove it through the hands of
Technically,
Gannett.
that's 3 because the first one
Couldn't
was
get
the
it up
block
on the
touch.
second time.
And that's not legal, sadly. Be interesting to get away with a triple touch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that today. It's Czakarovski.
Well, I might see it, it might not be legal.
Very true.
And again, nice swing
Cheminsky
from Gannett.
just deflecting it really beyond his
Good
partner.
recovery set, that pass
Fine, and
drifting a little
Gannett
to the side,
really
but
starting
the grab for the
find a
good to
little bit of
set.
rhythm, settling
And
into
Gannett
his
able to
groove.
convert.
Now, scoreline reads 16 points to 9.
Oh, he served a grab.
Changed late.
That ball just
Felt
holding up in the
really
wind.
like Czakarovski was in the
And
perfect
Czakarovski
position. And he
not
was
able to
expecting
control
it
it.
to die in the wind, and somehow it almost accelerated through and caught him napping.
Here he goes again. Can't quite get the ace on that occasion. Once again, that'll be very tightly contested. Gannett went up for the contest. Really nice roll of the wrist, a supple wrist displayed there by Jakub Cheminsky to win the point for Poland. However, can't get a few more of those on the board. They've only just into double digits. 10 serve 17.
That's not going to help. That was closer to going under the net than over the net.
Side
Never a
change
serve
at
you
18-10,
want,
8-point
especially
lead for
going
Canada,
downwind.
so big advantage here in our
Just worried
match.
about it drifting longer
And set to
overcorrected.
21 points, best of 3
So
sets.
Tynan Gannett coming back to
Canada
this
looking to
south
close
end
this out.
of the court in front of this baseline camera as they are in full control here.
Czakarovski with a little bit of a dummy there, and it's met by Gannett.
Gannett's all over that.
Tynan Gannett really has been
19-10,
quite
great block up
brilliant
front.
on the net so far.
He'll go back for the
For those who
serve.
don't know Tynan Gannett's story, the first ever Nova Scotian to represent Canada internationally. He's from Dartmouth.
Oh, I clipped the line. Woohoo! That did not miss by a lot. And again, Gannett having to do this difficult way. You talked about A being from Nova Scotia, that doesn't help. But B, the funding we know needed. Had to turn his hand to helping a tennis club to get the beach career underway. This will definitely be a profitable week, and no matter what
Oh,
happens,
big swing high.
they'll be profiting
And
from
out
that
the
error
side
as
of the
well
court,
from Poland.
20. So we
Dominating
have first set
point
points
after what?
for Canada to grab
Less than
back with the
15
serve.
minutes, we're
And
behind
serving
set
for the
points,
sets.
Canada.
Yeah. Graph there. Potentially for the set here. Cheminsky there, yes he can.
And the finish
Just
from
tapped over
Gannett
the
up
top
at the net.
by Tynan
So
Gannett.
first set goes
And
the
the
way of
first
Canada.
set will be Canada's
21-11.
21
Strong
points
set
to
for them.
11.
10-point
Incredibly
margin.
strong start to this first
Started out very
semi-final.
steady, and then
Well,
Canada
Michael,
just really
so
put
far,
the accelerator
we had
down
an answer
and
to this onslaught from the Canadians.
Poland going to need
Absolutely
to come out in the
not.
second
And we
set.
talked how efficient
Change
Canada
their
have
strategy
been,
a
right?
little bit, see how they're going to
3
put
games
Canada
in,
under pressure.
3-2-0
Moment
victories.
Canada,
A lot of those in
the ones
dominating
applying
fashion.
all of the pressure
We look
onto
at the scores of
Poland.
their opponent. 16. They did win a set 23-21 against the Belvedere, Willems and Darras. But then 16-11. 19 and 14, so really 7 sets in, they played 2 tight ones. They have really looked dominant, and I don't know how you solve it if you're Poland, because they just look so under control the reach and length of Gannett at the net is causing problems. The side out is efficient. Right now, where's the chink that you attack?
Do you go for the option? That's the only thing I think, because Chakarovsky has almost fainted it on a number of occasions. Hasn't actually gone for it though, so maybe that is a prelude for things to come.
Back out into action.
They just need an adjustment. They just need something to
Poland. First of our
change
semi-finals
the force
here on
of the
centre
tide
court.
in this semi-final.
And Poland needing to pull out all the stops here in the second set.
Picturesque venue.
They want a chance to win the match. They'll have to win this set and then move to a tie-breaking set. Canada wanting to close it out.
Today's finals day. Here's Chakarovsky then. Start the second set. Poland looking to scrape away as best as they can. Oh, brilliant. Outstanding start there. Chakarovsky
off the block and then puts it away.
Up and running.
Well, you talk about the option, right? Well, the option is speed the game up as well.
Yep.
Go on one, go on two, be a little bit out of textbook. Catch the Canadians napping. Well, that one does, is that drops, I believe, the first ace of the day for the Poles.
That's what Poland are going to need to look to do.
Indeed.
Take advantage of that
so
wind.
Far.
They are on the good side of the court. The wind blowing in their faces. They can apply lots of pressure on the serve if they want to.
21-year-old. Doing the damage on that one. Oh, great block. Can't quite be saved.
Chakarovsky.
Admirable effort that by Tyner Gannett. Chakarovsky, well, this man is on fire.
And just like that, Poland into the lead, 3-0.
Great start. Whatever was said in the set break has worked wonders so far. We have seen the timeout in set one very early that gave them a little spark. This now has. So what can the Canadians do to respond?
Nice roll shot, Gannett over the top of the block, catches the fingertips. No chance for Cheminsky to get there.
Couldn't quite fully clear the jumping poles, but the touch off the top of the fingers, not enough to contain the ball.
Let's come back to Cheminsky off the reverse sets. Aims for the line down the right-hand side.
Going wide.
Just goes wide off the target.
Canada within
So
1
it felt like
point,
forever
2-3.
for us to make that line call, but there's just hushed silence, I think, said all you needed to know from the Polish fans on the far baseline.
Just goes over the top, doesn't it? A nice reverse set there from Cheminsky. Can Griff get there? And he did. Couldn't direct it back to his
nearly got it up.
So, 4 now plays 2. The point before that. Opening side change in the second set.
Yeah, the amount of court coverage that Grief has got on the back row is kind of underrated because Gannett does such a good job directing things, but when the gas needs to be turned on, the Grief can normally do it, but that one,
block.
right
That'll
back
be the
at
side
him on
change
the
at
big block.
5-2.
Poland starting to just find that rhythm, both ends, defense coming through now for the Poles, and finally this is a must-win set or you're into the bronze medal match.
Cheminsky it is then. Plenty of encouragement for the Polish pairing as Gannett now. Really nice touch and an excellent dig, it has to be said, from Jakub Cheminsky. Free ball back over. Canadians get a second bite of the cherry, and Luke de Grief
down the line.
finishes that
Great
one
control from
superbly.
Canada.
Lovely set.
You can see
as
that
well
was
for Tyner
tactically
Gannett.
played.
Well, it was, but it also wasn't. It
Gannett
felt more
taking the first
like
ball and
the
setting it up
pass
for the
back
second hit.
to Gannett there, and that's maybe what caught the Poles off guard. It wasn't perfect to go on the option, but sometimes going on the option, we talked about the Poles needed to do, well, the Canadians pulling that trick out. Gannett gets that all levels of wrong.
So Poland have started this
Probably
set
wants to
in
launch
exactly
that
the position they want to.
Close to the North Sea.
Well, we are very, very
Get some points fast and then try and maintain that lead through to the end.
Czakarovski. Sets that central, and Czakarovski yet again, perfectly timed.
Ask and we shall receive. Beautiful timing.
What's that one straight back down?
We always talk about commentator's curse, but it's the exact opposite.
It's a very good point, actually. I don't think there is a term for it.
Well, I need to create one because that was beautifully timed, and Poland in dominant form. And why have two blocks when you can have a block party of three?
Well placed,
Attack
and
goes back to back.
Timeout taken from Canada.
Unsurprisingly, Canada agree. Take
Poland now.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Applying all the pressure. We spoke about it at the break.
Very violently.
The only way
in
for
this
them to
second
get
set
back into
so
the
far.
game was to
Very
really
strong
put
start
Canada
for
under
Canadians.
pressure. And they've
now
done that.
in control.
Canada struggling at the moment off the back of
Polish
some
fans
great blocking
in
from
control. We
Czakarovski.
talked about them. They found their voice. You can see them there on your screen, really getting behind them. And I do have to question, where's the Canadian support gone? Because they were out in numbers across the week. Almost slightly surprised not to see the Canadian women's pair on the beach as well. I know they were definitely not flying back this morning. I caught up with them last night. But we wanted to talk about it. Probably now is the best time to do it. We need to talk about the work behind the scenes the Canadian foursome really have done this week. Going out to a local primary school on Wednesday, the day before qualification, where the Canadian women were in action. And spending an entire day, I believe, with the local school, and boy did that pay off on Friday, because an atmosphere was had. The primary school came out in force, and all of a sudden an English event turned into a Canadian homecoming.
I was going to say, it would have been interesting, wouldn't it, on that Friday between Canada versus England.
Oh, well, we very nearly did in the women's section. Again, the block effective from Poland, and Canada really scrambling right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult for degrees to control. And it gets the right hand on it. Can't quite be dug out by the
Great work, defensive work
This is
off the blocks.
fantastic.
Some great pickups,
Kaminski
9-3.
and Czakarovski. And that lead now, 6 points. You just see the body language of the Canadians. A little bit flatter now. Need something just to go their way for a couple of points.
All about defense, but there's not a lot of defending that.
Griff with a big strong put away.
Kaminski read the angle was going to be there for the sharp cross court, but instead able to find the seam between the left hand of the block and the right hand of the defence. Beautiful piece of hitting, and much needed for Canada to stem that Poland attack. The scoreboard.
Okay.
Nice little pokey across the
Very
court
cheeky
there
again
for
by
Czakarovski, and
Czakarovski.
that'll be the side
And he's known for his
change.
power more so, muscling it down into the stand, but see, this is what good players do. You've got
Canada
that
with
as a
lots of
calling
work to
card,
do
when
to
that's
get
your
themselves
hallmark,
back into this
gives you the
match.
licence with those variations.
got the first
and
set.
utilise the cuts and the poking
Found themselves
rather
behind
nicely,
now in the
because
second.
Kaminski has a little bit of a battle with the local insects.
I'm glad it was that, because I was thinking, is he going to pull out a sky ball at
And
10-4 in the
Kaminski with a
second
deep
set to
serve that
really
goes a
chop
little
and
too
change
deep.
things up? Well, maybe he should have pulled out the sky ball, because that
Canada
serve
back.
wasn't
What
overly
can
useful,
Canada do to
unfortunately.
get themselves back into
Drifting long.
this? They need some big defensive plays.
Targeting on that occasion, and Czakarovski
And
just fires it
Czakarovski
straight
with
into the palm.
swing
Oh,
off the
Gannett.
block. Gannett's up there. Unfortunately, that one
So the poles
coming off his hands
straight
and out
back.
the side of the
11
court.
serves 5.
Poland
And
still
that
in the
pendulum
lead
you
by
talk about
6.
of momentum feels like it's completely flipped. Gannett's not been in this set at all offensively, and a couple of minor block touches, but not really affecting the Polish attack at all. As
It's
gets that
unforced error.
all levels of, well,
Poland
you were
move ahead by another point,
marking a test, that would be
12-5.
an F. Because that was all levels of wrong.
I'll tell you what though, he's almost been forced into that, because Czakarovski's presence on the net has been relentless in this second set, and here again, plenty of encouragement here for Alexander Czakarovski. Oh, that was awkward to deal with. Had to go over on the second time of asking, and Kaminski opens up the wrist.
the 20-year-olds really has such a depth
different
of
attitude, and you can
tricks
see much more
in
composed,
the attack.
not
You
rushing
can pretty
things,
much
just
do it
taking
all.
the pass and putting it
Still
into gaps.
some work to do to take it one step further, but we've seen across this 3 days of comp him kind of go to everything at various times, and that's why this pair really had such a
Canada
strong
gets the
season.
point back, but
To be
going to need to make a move fairly soon.
the 5th time they've
Will
made
they
the
run
top
out of
5
points towards the end of the set?
2026 season, and we're only still in June. Such an impressive effort by the Poles as they climb the rankings on the world stage.
Oh my word.
Out the side.
It's been called as out.
Canada with a point.
Yeah, it did just
Minsky thought he had
wide, and
that.
that's why it went over the barrier nearly into us. We nearly had to pass that one from the commentary position.
So the Greek it will be. Trying to go deep on the serve. Sails out. Of course. Bring us to the technical timeout. Poles assertive lead, 14 points to 7.
Yeah,
Technical
I can't remember
timeout
what
on
the
centre
score was
court.
at the technical timeout in
Poland
the first
with the
set, but
lead
it was
by
something
7
like
points.
14-7-30.
It was 13-8.
Take
So
a little
it's
break
almost
as
complete role reversal.
our volunteers take
Yeah,
to the
and
court and
Again, it's
do a
all
little
been the work of Alexander Jorowski. It's not
sand
saying
gardening.
Trubisky's played badly, he hasn't,
Thank you to our
but it's
volunteers.
all the work at the
You
net.
can see them
It's
smoothing
changed the
out
whole rhythm,
sand
it's
near the
changed the
lines, and
flow.
it's just to make sure that those lines are really visible
It's now
for
really
the
Canadians
referees.
to take this up a
So
step. It
once again, a
feels
hugely
like
valuable job by our volunteers,
ball
and
control's just
really
been slightly off.
appreciated.
Sets haven't quite
We've
been
had
in the
loads
right
of
place.
support
The
from a
receiving
number of
wasn't as
schools
crisp.
in the local
So they
area.
can just tidy that up. They've still got a chance, but it needs to happen soon. If not, that race to 15
But it's not just from the schools, there's just
in the final.
passionate about
Certainly will be.
and really love getting stuck into these events and assisting where they can.
It will be.
Again, big thank you to all of our
the serve.
volunteers.
He's taking his time for his latest one. Changing the angle there for the
Nice little
Greek.
snap there from
Just
the
snapping the
Greek.
wrist.
Snaps it down the line.
Occasion.
Just? You mean that was a
Good wrist
monster
action.
snap? We had a great angle on that. That ball was almost going to be a cut and chop type of short angle. He really snapped that through and sent it the other way. You could see the Polish defense not reading that one.
Oh, jump set. And the finish from Szyminski. Exhibition stuff from the Poles.
Well, there's your option.
Bennett was forced to drop off,
There's
and
the option.
Szyminski put that one down
And
the
goes
middle.
with the jump set. I think we'll be seeing a lot of that in the next hour by Green and Bayo. But yeah, I was wondering if that was premeditated in that technical timeout. This is what we want to get to just keep the block guessing. As Gannett misses that one, that was a wide open court.
Yeah,
Thought he was going
right
to catch
idea,
Poland
just the wrong
unawares,
execution
but
on that occasion.
forced error, hitting it off the
Isaacs
side.
up. Just didn't have the correct whereabouts. Point game then, just about trickles over from Chakarovsky.
Splits the block. It wasn't even a split block attempt. It was, unfortunately, just the arms a little bit too wide. As we see some boats sailing off in the distance, that one sailed through the wickets. And it's a much needed Canadian point, but how do they put pressure on? Well, that's not one way to do it.
It isn't, and that is the other metric which is worth mentioning.
79 Poland with a strong
continues
lead.
to creep up here for Canada.
Playing to 21 points, this could be going down to a third set.
Executed shots really are beginning to rack up here. Really assisting and abetting the Polish efforts.
De Greer for the good swing.
Winner and net touch.
Net
Winner
contact,
plays on
but
the
Canada
stats for sure. But again,
has the point
interesting that
10-17.
what Canada done there was go to a much higher set. Not more time, yes, it's blocking, but now you've got different ways you can attack the swing. I wonder if that is a little adjustment. Don't over worry about the wind. Yes, it's gusty in spells, but it's not affecting the volleyball too much, so go to the higher ball.
And it goes up for the block. Good read there by De Greef. Now has the opportunity to cash in. Not quite.
Another enforced error. That's a side change at 18-10.
that's really
Poland
frustrating.
in the lead
Twice
by 8.
Canada have had a beat on the rally, and twice they've made the error. So instead of 4, it's 8. And now you are starting to think about the race to 15.
Definitely. Chakarovsky will be then the serve. First back to the grief, and Chakarovsky with a monster.
Chakarovsky
That is a beatdown.
shuts
at
the front
net.
door.
There's
19-10.
no getting through the wall of Cheminsky and Chakarovsky in this second set. They are racing away with it.
And it has been sparked by that man right there, Chakarovsky. Goes for the attempt again, but the grief. Really nice angle for the right-hander. Executes the cross court.
Looks like we've got a bit of a competition
Now we
between
can
our
hear a little
Canada
bit
and Polish
of
fans.
Canadian encouragement. Admittedly, not to the same
All
level as
in
the Polish,
good,
but a couple of Canadian
good
fans
gist.
have come into the equation.
No fights breaking out in the stands quite yet.
Oh, Chakarovsky,
And the
beautiful.
roll shot, Chakarovsky, and that moves us to set
Calm
point
as
number
you
1.
like, up and over the block.
It looks like we could be going to a third set tiebreak in our very first semi-final here on centre court in the men's division.
This to
Cheminsky.
send it. Third set decider. Cheminsky it'll be.
Ace
And it goes in. It's an ace for Cheminsky. His first of the game. What a way
take the
to
second
round
set.
out
We're going
a
to
very,
third set
very
tiebreaker
fruitful
here
set
on
for the
centre
Poles.
courts.
21-11, so matches what we saw in the opener. Michael Hansen-Morris, we are going to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, the referee very quickly and efficiently down from the stand. Captain straight to me as well. We'll get another coin toss. I believe Poland may win it. So slight psychological advantage potentially as well. Poland are going to elect to serve, probably not a surprise after an ace. But again, that is a set dominated by the 21-year-old Alexander Chakarovsky, who is starting to become a bit of a trickster, and not in terms of the way he plays, but in the venues he can play. He can play indoor, he can play on the beach, he can play on snow as well.
Yep.
Polish junior champion, but playing snow volleyball not for the faint-hearted, but his talent's really now starting to lie out here on the beach. It's delightful to see, as they will be the first team to head off their little box, and now into that north end of the court, serving into the wind where we just saw that ace to clinch set number 2, and now all of a sudden, slightly shorter set. Both teams need the support, and the fans are trying to encourage as we have got a race to 15.
sides every 5 points.
So Chakarovsky gets us underway in the third set decider. Goes up for the block. The grief can't cash in.
Canada.
And yet again, it's another
So, first
error
points
for the Canadians. Really beginning to take its toll.
Yeah, that is the other thing. The error rate for Team Canada has definitely risen through set 2 and 3. They're almost faultless through that opening set, and now it's catching up with them.
This time the grip goes down the angle.
Ref able to make the adjustment.
So opting
Changing
for that
angle
reverse
and line
set.
of attack, goes cross court for the winner.
Canada, 1 serving 1.
Very well there. Serve. Chakarovsky got on his sleeves.
Line through the block, literally through the hands of Tyler Gannett, who's really not been a presence at the net. He's affected the Polish attack since really midway through the first set.
This time, Cheminsky targeting Gannett. Now gets that back and explodes it off the right hand of the attempted block.
Couldn't get it back down into the court.
A
Get
little
it
bit
back with the
quicker
serve.
ball off the set.
2-7-2.
I will say, both teams have passed really well, and that's made this game whiz by in terms of efficiency. Not many long rallies.
That goes out, a big roar from the
That'll be the
poles.
side change at
That'll be our
3-2.
first change of
We're
sides.
swapping every 5
These
points.
third set deciders,
Like
we're
the
changing
earlier
multiples
sets.
of 5 as opposed to
Third
the
set
regular
tends to go
7.
rather quickly,
the
so
opening
players
two.
can't afford for
Always
any
easy
run
on
of
the
points
maps
to
as well,
happen.
5 and 7.
Got
Can't
to
lie.
maintain control.
Jakarowski then to the Grave.
Gannett
Taken by
going on
Gannett,
to
really
off the
smart
block.
that. We spoke about the tempo of the Canadians. They're just forcing attempted block from Jakarowski.
Yeah, he was definitely caught off guard by that. Still hope to rise and get some sort of contact, but not enough to affect the rally.
Well, that was a very kind angle, wasn't it, for the cross court. Jakarowski, well, he had a very quiet opening set by his standards, and since then he has certainly risen to the occasion.
Yeah, it's the wrong blocking signal at the wrong time. Gannett peels off the net, and they'd already predetermined they were going cross, and sadly the ball went to exactly where the ref was about 1 second earlier. But it doesn't matter, as both teams efficient now in the side-out game, and that
So no
always
team moving
matters.
ahead
It
quite
feels
yet.
like
4
just
serving
one
4.
mini break might be pivotal, because there's not a lot between these two sides when they're playing at their best, and we're starting to see that here on the sands of Brid.
Unforced error on the serve.
That gap, that could be.
Opponent looking
couldn't
to
it? A
extend
couple
this
of
1-point
unforced
lead.
errors. The fact is you don't
5-4.
necessarily have to play the perfect game, you
Jakarowski
just
back
need to
with the
play
serve.
a better level compared to your opposition. Canadians will be desperate to win this point, and right on cue, Tynan Gannett. That is
Side
top
change
class.
at 5,
Yeah,
serving
that's a really
5.
tough shot to execute, that kind of cross-cut. Normally you want to cut it across right to left if you're a right-hander, so to go left to right on that, not an easy skill, but beautifully executed. And we do have that second change of ends, and nothing separating these two giants.
Oh, again, really, really good shot that. Just the roll of the wrist there from Jakub Szyminski.
Down that line.
Really has been a back and forth battle, hasn't it, Michael?
We've not really had close sets,
Until now.
but if we're going to have a one, book me up for a tight 3-set thriller. The ref gets a good contact for that, but unfortunately Gannett was already on the floor, so nothing he could do to get off the sand and rescue that. For the first time we have a point on serve in this tiebreak.
We do. And how Jakub Szyminski would love to turn that gap from 2 to 3. Really put the poles in commanding position. What does left do here?
Again,
Griff's able to get some really good risks.
in the back row, taking a bit of an early gamble, going to predict
Just
the roll
drops his
shot
wrist
over
at
the
the
top
last
of the block
moments
or
and
a
that ball
pokey,
cutting across the
and
court.
instead it was a hit on the cross-court angle, and no one was home.
Oh, good block there from Tynan Gannett. Will he go up again for the challenge? Well, Jakub Szyminski this time
from Gannett,
with
but
the
Poland able to
southpaw
recover.
effort. A change
And
in
then
the
the little
angle
short
with
shot
his hand there.
in
Goes
front of
left-handed
Griff.
and gets the point.
That's
8-6.
so frustrating for Canada. That's the first clean block contact we've had in a long, long time. Unfortunately, it went straight onto the Polish side where they had
back
control
with
of
the
the rally. And they say the improvisation to go lefty. And now the wind really helping that one hold up and rip down. And now we have the side change, 9-6, so Poland in control of this tiebreak.
9-6.
6 points away. And for Canada, well, they need something. Whether it's an error, whether it's a really good individual effort from one of these two. There's Gannett there. Well, he's the man to commit the error.
Misfire on that second ball.
We've seen him execute that so well in this tournament. We had one early in this match as well, but that one just not on balance enough and sent that one way, way long. And yeah, you have to use the timeout, but right now it just feels like they're not able to find a way to put enough pressure on the Polish side out. And now you need 3 break points in like 5-6 opportunities. It's a lot to do, but against the Polish team who know how to handle pressure with the success they've had in that second place earlier this month in back home in Krakow. So they are closing in on upgrading that 4th place finish last week. Busy part of the season, and that might just help. Really, it's now or never for the Canadians. You don't want to be in the bronze medal game, especially when you're on the road, as we know an English team will await.
We certainly do. Yeah, the atmosphere for that should be very, very good indeed. Looking forward to later on this afternoon. Here's Czakowski then. The chance of let's go Poland, let's go. Continue from the opposing side of the court. What can the ref do here? He finds Czakowski. Read that very well. Gannett there. It was last ditch really from the Canadians on that occasion. It's another point
much more
for
volleyball.
the Polish pair.
Set
It's a
seemed to
5-point
struggle a little
lead.
bit.
Yeah,
But second
they've
set
really
came
done a
out
good job
firing and
attacking
looks like they're in
Gannett
control
when he
here
peeled
in
off
the
the net.
third.
We know what a difficult
11-6.
skill it is to peel and play with good contact, and Gannett's not quite been able to find
Good
the
swing from
solution
De Greve
today.
off the block of
Finds that
Czakowski.
one. That felt like a must-win point on the side out.
It certainly was. At this stage, they need to be nigh on perfect. They've got 4 points really to play with. Szyminski. Oh, great salvage job there.
Oh! I was convinced that was going over. I think Gannett was, but if that was the other end of the court, that definitely would have gone over. But the wind just helping keep it on the Canadian side. And you could see the frustration from Gannett that he couldn't quite squeeze the defence, touch over the net.
So here is Szyminski. So he begins to pick up again here. Bridlington. Czakowski stuffs that one. Just about rescued. What a shot that is, off balance. Fantastic recovery shot that from Tyler Gannett. Canadians keep their hopes alive to have a 4th change of sides.
Yeah, the only thing that would have been better was the backwards roll to finish the celebration.
I can tell you, that Tyler Gannett, just looking at his facial expressions, he is dialed in. So too is his partner. Paul's having a little conversation on the opposing side of the court. So 8 plays 12. Czakowski with an opportunity here. Brilliant read there. Option taken by Gannett. He keeps the play alive. Tight to the net though, big joust. Czakowski did very well initially. And it's called out.
From the big man up front.
The Poles now 2 points away from a place in the final.
I'm going to say I think that's the point that confirms the result. You cannot miss that in this stage if you're Luke De Greve. Like, you have control, you don't have a block up. One defender to beat and you push it wide, and it's so unfortunate for the Canadians. It's going to take a magical effort from here.
Well, it demands perfection, or a lot of errors.
That
Well,
time De Greve with a
there you
big
go.
swing off the block.
There is 1 point, however, you've got to build a run. That's the key.
1 ace in the match for the pair.
Yep. Yeah, there have been few and far between, actually. It's both of these teams, just the 3 aces. 2 to Poland, 1 to Canada. Lovely pokey there, and a great use of the option from Tyler Gannett. There you go then. That's 2 points on the bounce.
When you say option, the only option was over. The
Canada
ref
going
was
to need
sprawled
a
on the
lot more
floor
of
for the
those.
pickup. He weren't getting back up to be
10-13.
able to put a meaningful swing
Literally
on it.
can't afford
So,
for another ball to
I
go
don't think
down. They
Gannett
need
had
to
to
make
kind
all
of
of these
improvise.
plays
Poland have
count.
been really aggressive.
Poland taking the timeouts.
Really aggressive. Just the first break point.
And they've quite literally
of the
done that
entire
just to
set
break
on their
any
seven.
rhythm that
Immediately
Canada might have
whacked
been
the
hoping to build
timeout.
up there.
head to the bench for 45 seconds or so.
They've got the advantage, 3 points. They just need another 2. There's 2
nerves, and we'll have a look
sideouts.
there into
And
the
they've
huddle.
got this match in place in the finals.
Instructions they're getting, and it's a really good chance.
Canada,
So what do you want to
a
do?
lot more work to do. They've
Probably
got
at this
to
point have a really good idea of what
big
Canada are doing
defense,
on the serve.
get some
Probably
pickups
going to try and
and
keep
earn some points. See
from
if they can close
Kaminsky
that
in the
gap.
pass.
Put themselves in a
So
position
now what
for
do you
the
want to
win.
do? Do you want to try and be aggressive and go for the option on 2 if you get a good ball? What type of attack do you want to line up? Because you just need that one side out to be in full control and bring up match points.
I was going to say it's very different, isn't it, looking at the current scenario. The Canadians win this next point. It's only 2 points separating the 2 teams, and there has been that semblance of a run of point scoring for Gannett and McCree for the Poles. If they do get this back, well, they're just 1 point away
Here we
from
go.
that
Players
gold medal
back
match
on court.
against one of the English pairs. Right, we're ready then. Serve goes towards Chakarovsky. Spikes in the net, and Chakarovsky finds the line.
Down the line,
We have got
which, ladies and
a
gentlemen,
match
brings us
point
to
here in the first semi-final.
points. Let's
Chakarovsky,
get
well, he
those
has been
hands together.
absolutely
Poland
terrific.
with their first match point.
You say point, add an S
back
on it,
with a serve.
because there's 4 of them coming.
Here is Szyminski, and he gets it, finishes it off with an ace. And it is the Polish pair of Jakub Szyminski and Alexander Chakarovsky who booked their place in the gold medal match here on the sands of
What a match
Bridlington.
on centre court. Poland
Commiserations
lost
to
the
the
first
Canadians.
set.
They'll be taking part
Canada
in the
then
bronze
lost
medal
the
match a
second,
little bit
and
later
Poland
on. But
took
that
it to them
comeback
in the
from the
third
Poles, Michael,
set.
was
So Poland with the
superb.
win. They'll
Yeah,
go
that
through to the
ace was
finals.
so nice.
Well,
You had to
chance
see
here.
that one twice. The
Right
rip
support for
top
the
spin
Polish team.
into the wind down the middle, driving through. And that will end it. You can see there the Polish players going towards where the majority of the Polish fans are being on that baseline to celebrate. Indeed, we will see them later on at 4 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. European time for the final. Canadian dropping into the bronze medal game. And that means we will take a quick break here, because next up, a battle of the ages. Bialikos, Betrain, Bayo and Gleed. It's an all-English semi-final next up here in Bridlington.
Ja sobie idę tam z tyłu, żeby coś się dzieje. Jak oni nie będą mnie potrzebować, to ja zostanę z tobą.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome back to sunny South Beach, Bridlington, for the World Tour Futures European event here on the first time on English soil, and what a way to celebrate it. An all-English semi-final. You've seen the Poles advance a few minutes ago. Szyminski and Czakowski await the winner. But now we will get the turn of Nico Glede and Nikke Bayo, Freddie Bialikos and Isa Betrain to battle it out on the centre court. Michael Hunter-Morris, Aaron Riles, and what an occasion. First time hosting Futures and two English teams who are going to give it everything on centre court.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I've seen plenty of battles between these four on the UK Beach Tour, and here in Bridlington, home crowd, we're seeing some of the locals filter in. I mean, the atmosphere should be brilliant, and the action as well should be great. These are two very dynamic, highly athletic volleyball pairings.
Yeah, very different styles. Glede and Bayo to go with the split block a little bit. And we know to that split blocking play, you see Nikke Bayo there warming up.
So England
The
up
last
against
couple of weeks
England.
he's been doing some coaching with his
Bialikos
brothers. They're
and
off
Betrain up
preparing
against
for the Elite
Bayo
16
and
next
Glede.
week in Gstaad. So missing this
And that
out,
match
but
due to get underway
third
in the next
Bayo
couple
and
of minutes.
Nikke showing he
Just
knows
completing
how
their
to
final
compete on
warm-ups.
the big stages.
And
He's
then we'll be
continued to
back
grow.
in action on centre court.
They will be
Our
in
final
action
semi-final.
against arguably the favourites this
And then we'll
tournament
be
coming
into our
in.
bronze medal
Freddie
matches.
Bialikos and Isa
We'll
Betrain.
have first our women's bronze medal match and then men's bronze medal match.
Time on the sands of Crystal
But at the moment, the
Palace,
match on court to determine who goes
buying
through
their
to the
trade
final.
and continue to elevate and take that next step, and they're looking to go one further with another title.
It's key that you say another title there, because previously gold medalist in Halifax in Canada in 2024. So, yeah, this should be a fantastic occasion and a really, really great matchup.
Indeed, as teams heading to the benches, so we're a couple of minutes away from the opening stanza of this game, and it's interesting. Early on we had the All French round, we talked about how tight these two are. In a very odd way, these two are untight, they don't see each other on tour very often. They caught up with the pairs yesterday evening after the quarterfinals, and they think they might have played each other like once over the last 5 years. So it's very interesting that that's going to be a very interesting start. They know each other, but they don't know each other on the court, and that will open up some entertaining ideas.
Certainly will.
So we're just waiting for the referees to head over. Super experienced crew doing this one. Yesterday we had huge battles on the sand. Freddie needs a little bit more straightforward to get here to the semi-finals, having won the pool and then defeated the Scots yesterday. We'll talk no doubt about the Nico and UK game as well, as they beat the Germans.
Okay,
of
we're
Jonas
about to get underway now with the semi-final, and we'll start with our official
Now we'll
introductions.
start our official presentations here on centre court, and as ever,
Officials
we need
making sure
our
that everything
third
runs smoothly today
team,
in the first
our
referee's
scorers,
chair.
our
Jamie
statisticians, and of
Selden.
course our referees. And having beat senior side depart yesterday, Jamie Salvin from Scotland up in the stand for this one, and
And
he'll
of
be
course, a big
joined
thank you
by
to our line judges and scorers as well.
Frenchman Sylvain Duart.
Now, moving on to the competitors
And
today.
now
As
time
mentioned, it is
for
an
the players
all-England
in the
matchup.
blue jerseys.
Introducing our first English team wearing
Kay
number 1
Bayo,
jersey,
the
Juan Enrique
22-year-old brother of Javi and Joaquin, of course,
and his partner in number 2,
heading out first. He's been battling some illness, food poisoning, but he seems to be coming through later in this tournament, and he'll be joined by
Their
Nico
opponents
Gleed.
today, also from England. Put your hands
And
together.
of course,
Number
the other end of
1,
the court,
Freddie
Freddie Bialakos, the monster at the net, coming from the volleyball family, the former Malu Eagle player, heading out onto sand. And joined by his partner, Isa Betrain. Richmond helped him get into volleyball, multi-sport athlete, also a member of the Weymouth Classic Hall of Fame, having won the tournament not once, not two, not three, not four, but 5 occasions on home sand. And I know how desperately both these teams want a home final and a chance to win the medal. You can see Nico Gleed's partner, Kirsty Starr, pace around in the back corner. She's going to be stressed with this one. On home sand, and the All-English semi-final underway as Gleed goes sharp angle for the winner.
First
Great
point
start
for
that for
Bayo
Nico
Gleed
Gleed.
with a little cut shot.
Mention about the history on the UK Beach Tour. Fair enough, not these two as a pairing, but Nico Gleed has taken on these two quite a few occasions.
Yeah, played a lot with Andrew Van Rensburg. This Gleed-Bayo partnership's really started to form over the last 18 to 24 months, and Gleed goes up and over Freddie,
with a little
and
pokey cut
train
shot.
immediately over to
Out into a
Jamie
quick lead,
Salvin.
2 points. Bayo and Gleed.
Gone to clean his glasses, but that's a very obvious decoy for what his real intention was for a little conversation.
It's needed at this stage as well. I mean, it's the perfect start, isn't it, for Bayo and Gleed? Points on the board.
Betrain unleashes, but unfortunately
Big swing.
pulls
He's
it wide.
outside.
Is a Betrain not the tallest, but what he does is absolutely unleash power. Time couldn't quite get the connection to the perfect start for the lower seeded pair of the 2 English teams. As Bialakos
And
beats
this time
Gleed,
put away by the
PK
second
can't
time
get his left foot up to that one.
It's one
Good
of those,
first
I don't
block
think there was
from
any
Gleed.
stopping that one, to be completely honest. That is a sledgehammer from Freddie Bialakos.
So for the first time, Freddie Bialakos at the service line, and that one a little long, goes bouncing over to court number 2, not in use today. Maybe the second tallest player in this field. As Glede up to block that one. Kike gets the help of the net tape. Bialakos up off the sand. But can't find the winner. There's a long rally underway, but the touch from the train just out of the full reach of Bialakos. It's a great start for Bayo.
Terrific start, because what we've seen not only in this tournament but for events that these have been on, they get that early separation. They are nigh on unstoppable. They've got a run of 5-6 points at a time, so it's already stretched to a 4-point deficit between the two teams. I think this is exactly what these two would have been dreaming of.
Lovely little second touch pokey by Bialakos over the top. No way you're getting to that one. And it's 5-2 as the pair in pink head down to the south end of the court. One will have a tailwind behind them, so that was unorthodox by Train. Not quite the ball toss he wanted, and that block high and drift wide. That was very uncomfortable looking ball toss though. Very. There's the bomb set. Going to give a free ball for Bayo and Glede. And Glede goes on 2 on the option. Bialakos and Train racing there, and either Train tried to put a bunch of spin on that to help get it over, but no rescuing that. And the pair have got to be thinking about a timeout. The gap is 5.
Yeah, I don't think many people here are expecting this really fast start between Bayo and Glede. See what they have been brilliant so far.
And the little pokey by Freddie long, and either Train calling the timeout. They're going to head back to that left-hand side, cross over and have a chat. It's 8-2.
Great start.
Question here, what was the mood like for Issa and Freddie? Because this is far from ideal. I mean, I don't think I've actually seen them trail by 6 points at an event full stop here in the UK. So them to already be trailing this early on, off the back of quite a few unforced errors as well, it has to be said. They really just need to clean up the game a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Freddie and Isa's route to this semi-final. They were in Pool A, being the number 1 seed, 21-12, 21-15 over the Swiss pair of Amarin and Brock. Followed it up by the Austrian of Kleiman and Holtzinger, 21-18, 21-14. So a very clean first day, just over an hour on court for the pair. And then yesterday in the quarter-final, they dispatched Sean Cook and Ewan Fraser, who may be one of the surprises of the tournament. 21-13, 21-17 in under half an hour. A very quick-paced game. But now the pair on the back foot. Can they respond out of the timeout? They can't. As Train goes into the net, trying to battle against Glede at the net.
Well, yet again, they keep on connecting with the net itself, and what this is doing is, of course, extending that deficit. It's at 7 points.
And the handling violation going to be called to a double rather than a lift, so going right, left hand then right hand on the set. The hole just ever so slightly deeper. It's not quite over yet, but 8 is a long way back on the sand.
It really is. I suppose the great thing about beach volleyball, you can always reset and refocus in that second one. They might be down at the minute, they're certainly not out. There's plenty more action to be played in this second semi-final.
That time, a good put away from the Train
on
down
that
the
one
line.
for the winner, so much needed.
Lots of work to do. Still early stages in this match.
for Freddie.
They're not at panic stations yet. Plenty of time to pull themselves back into this game. Bayo and Gleed wanting to maintain.
To serve, low toss, sprints to the net, and Gleed goes quick to avoid the block. And a little pokey as Gleed and Bayo combine. Great job by Kike to stay out of the net. Pokey early again, and the speed of these two have really caught off guard. And Kirsty Starr enjoying what she's seeing right in front of us. So Gleed on to the win. Bialakos nets that, and at this point chalk the setup. I think it's about momentum for set number 2, as we're 4 points away from, no, sorry, 6 points away from the technical timeout. But it's 12-3.
Well, there is almost this sense of almost shock among the spectators. It has really quietened down, hasn't it?
Much better. Great pass. Isabel Train right into the hitting arc of Freddie Bialakos. One of our women's future players, Robin Clifford, who made her debut this week, just into the event office, having got unfortunately hurt in their game yesterday against Mole and Yeltnes, who we'll see next up on centre court in the women's bronze game.
Away from Bayo. 13-4.
And it's 13-4 in favour of Kike and Nico. As that one nearly 14-4. Great job, Isa Betrain, to read the low serve, start moving toward the net and make the pancake save. And it was just a pancake save, it was a perfect way to pass the ball as well. And Freddie says thank you, give me a point. As Gleed goes cheeky pokey, but is a Betrain back-to-back defensive efforts to get there.
What a finish that is. Authoritative by Betrain. You can see, I mean, they've got to try and channel this frustration. You can see in the body language, certainly not the start that's the number 1 seed we're looking for. However, we all know the quality of these two.
There's that one on the cross court, hammered home by Kike. So the last point away from the technical timeout. Can Bialakos and Betrain cut the gap? They can. Beautiful side out. Down the line swing, and we go to 14-7 at the side change. So beautiful by Freddie and Isa. They've got a lot to do in the back half of this set.
They really have to. They must. It's as simple as that. I mean, when they've actually executed well, they're sharing the points very efficiently. So Bialakos has got 4, Betrain has got 3. The issue has been the unforced errors. I mean, there's been 8 so far in this opening semi-final, and it's just made the job a lot easier for Enrique Bayo and Nico Gleed. And I know, of course, heading into this semi-final, the vast majority of the attention would have been on Bialakos and Betrain, but Enrique Bayo, he has been superb so far, especially on the cross court. It's been a very, very successful and bountiful option for him.
Indeed, it's great to see so many people starting to fill the stands here in Bridlington. We've got people way up on top of the hill for a great view near the cafe. And the former coach of Freddie and Isa, Freddie Fairburn, the head coach at University of Nottingham's made his way up here as well to support his former team. I know Freddie still does some work with them as well. Freddie Fairburn loves the beach. University of Nottingham, one of the top universities for the sand. As Nico Gleed runs that one into the block, scrambling defense once again. Open net, Kike Bayo puts it on the cross-court angle for the winner.
Almost right on cue, wasn't it? We were discussing about his strength in that particular region and that particular shot, and he delivers once more.
So short float serve. Bialakos with the tip. Gleed sets. And off the left hand of the block goes Kike for another side out. And they've been rock solid.
Huge gap as well, isn't it? 9 points separating the two. Of course, for Bayo and Gleed, though, they've just got to finish off the job, draw first blood.
As Freddie Bialakos, hello! That's an absolute fireball on the cross-court angle. We'll see that one again on the replay. Just unleashes. And Kike gets a touch to it, but no control at all. That one way off the back of the court. As Gleed thought about the jump set, goes to the traditional. Has to go with the one-hand stab to keep the rally alive and responds on the cross-court swing.
Tell you what, that's a lovely shot from Nico Gleed, who goes, Freddie Bialakos, whatever you can do, mate. Well, I'm more than up to the task as well. Terrific riposte.
4 is all that's needed. As that one tight on the net. Freddie had stopped. And the poke winner for Nico Gleed, and double digits the gap, 18-8, which I think is a scoreline no one could have thought was going to happen. We thought this English battle was going to be tight, and it's been anything but that, but we know what can happen. A set change is all you sometimes need as you go back to 0-0 on the scoreboard. As that is going to be a double touch. And Nico and Kike 2 away.
Of course, we do know who the opposition will be in that gold medal match. It will be the Polish pair of Szyminski and Czakarovski. Of course, we need to find out, though, in this game, who their English opposition will be.
Nico Gleed block touch into the edge of the court. Again, it's been interesting that England is pairing of Gleed and Bayo have tried to make ease of a training as much as possible, attack him on the serve.
Putting themselves in prime position
paid off so far. But we know he can really cause an impact. His serve there, well handled. Bialakos gets the block, and that one just about, in fact, not touching the sand, but they're going to call a lift instead. Trying to rescue that ball, so a small block by the big man.
10-19.
And this time, tooling the block goes Kike, and they will bring up set points, 10 of them. 20-10 the scoreline here on a beautiful day in northeast of England, Yorkshire. As Bialakos misses the hands, trying to wipe it off Nico Gleed. Bayo and Gleed take the first set, 21-10. Pick that one apart, Aaron Hiles.
I'm not sure I can. As I said, I've seen an awful lot of Bialakos and Betrayed on the UK BT, and I don't think I've seen a single set ever go that one-sided. However, I do come back to that previous point. We've seen it in the women's quarterfinals here yesterday. We've seen it in the first of the men's quarterfinals, and of course the semi-final as well. The Polish pairing of Szyminski and Czakarovski, who are in the final, came back from 21-11 in that first set. So it's disappointing, of course it is, but you've got to mentally compartmentalise that, put it to the back of the mind and go, we know exactly what we're capable of. We've got gold medals in the past on the World Beach Pro Tour, and quite simply, you've got to find their groove, because so far there's been way too many unforced errors. And easy points here for Bayo and Gleed, who are lapping up every single point they can get so far.
Yeah. If you spoke to Enrique and Nico this morning and said 21-10 first set you win, I think they would have said, where do I sign on the dotted line? I think even by their expectations, it's probably better than they could have imagined. But one set isn't enough, you need two. And that second set is underway as Bialakos unleashes down the line after a slightly longer rally.
Snaps that one down the
Gleed
line
and
with a bit of pace.
Bialakos jousting at the net for the first time.
First point on the board.
The train back to serve. And there is Freddie Bialakos at his best. Reads the cross-court swing and sends that one exactly where it came from. Monster block, Freddie. As Kike this time goes wide of the hands, but goes wide of the sideline as well. So
Batrain and Bialakos now.
Crystal Palace pairing
Quick lead,
jump
3-0.
all along the set change. 3-0 away lead. As the roll shot well read by Iza. And he attacks Bayo, peeling off the net. And maybe a timeout. Indeed it is a timeout. Nico Gleed, Juan Enrique for the first time in this game. They're on the back foot.
They are. And fair play to Bialakos and Batrain, because they could have taken that opening set one of two ways. They could have gone, oh, it's not going to be our day, we can let the shoulders slump and almost feel that sense of disappointment, but instead they've come out firing. They've been brilliant so far on the attacking reads, and well, this is what we're used to seeing with them. This is why they're such a dangerous team as a pairing, because they don't just get odd points here and there, they turn them into stretches.
Indeed. And there you see Sam Dubavin and Kirsty Starr watching on. Disappointment and heartbreak for Kirsty Starr, along with her partner Katie Keefe, who were in the senior Nevza women's final just 5 days ago, and unfortunately Katie Keefe got concussed in that game, peeling off the net on a swing by Melina Mole, and they had to medically withdraw from the tournament. How much the top British women's pair would have loved to have played in this event. And instead, Kirsty Starr on supporting duty. As Kike wins the point out of the timeout, making the adjustment to go off the high hands of Freddie. And that height difference at the net is awkward for Freddie Bialakos at times, because sometimes you can't put a max vert jump in, because if you do, you know the slightly smaller player, you're more likely to get caught on the wrist and the arm and less able to control the block. As Freddie adjusts to that one, goes through the quick pokey. As realised that was a tight set and he didn't want to go to setting duties, and instead finds the winner. And a monster serve. And the advantage of being on that north end, you can really whip the serve. We'll see a replay of that one. And that one landing in the back corner. Kike had to go to his right, unable to control it. And a all but perfect set of 7 points for the #1 seeds. Kike able to get the better of Freddie there, and again you see that height difference at the net. Freddie not really able to get his hands to it.
I think that's a really good point, and something else which I've noticed over the course of this game so far is Nico Gleed and his athleticism. He really is meeting Bialakos at the net, even considering there is that rather sizable difference in height.
As Gleed goes to the set, and Bayo goes line away from the block. And that's the advantage of being able to keep the ball in the middle of the court, that you've got all the options available. Really tough for the defender of the pair to know where to go. You've got to pick a side, you can't just stand in the middle, because middle is death. And now Freddie Niza tried to respond, and they do, as Gleed gets a touch to that one, but can't get it over the net take on the block effort. So 7 serving 3. And he's a Batrain. Goes cross. Bayo gets shut down. Bialikos read
Absolute roof.
the angle, and he sends that one for the second time. We get a monster block. And Freddie and Isa are starting to dominate 8-3. And maybe, just maybe, we're going the distance in this all-English semi-final FIVB World Pro Tour Futures European event.
Ooh, and the little cross shot just out the side.
One of 3 futures
Good
events
tactic,
this
lots
week.
of open sand there,
Another one out in
just
Turkey.
ever so slightly off. So Petra and Bialikos now with a 9-3 lead.
All of a sudden,
They've gone out to
feels
quick
like a
start.
rinse and repeat of semi-final number 1.
It does. It is a very, very similar flow to the game.
He's going to try. So just give it an extra few seconds. Great officiating. Right, Sylvain Duat there, just to know what may have happened and not rush the Englishman to his feet. As the wind gusts up, that's going to force an overset, and that draws Betrain into the net on the joust.
And the
So
side
that was
change.
a point all won by the wind.
Yeah, really kicked up there, didn't it? Imagine that would have been playing a little bit of havoc when it comes to decision making.
Our referee ruled contact with the line on that
Our
serve,
line judge,
which is not allowed.
Owen Grime from Norway, saying
That'll be
on the
technical
toss
timeout.
that
Here on centre court.
Isabel Train caught the line, and that is not legal in the most definite circumstance. So a cheap one into the technical timeout, but the Alikos and the Train are going to be happy that they've righted the wrongs of the first set and are in the lead.
Most definitely. The only thing that I would say for Freddie and Isa here continues to be those unforced errors. They really have totted up and totted up and totted up, whereas you look at those two, they're having to fight and scrap their way for these points, whereas Enrique and Nico, well, they're just capitalising on those mistakes.
Indeed, as we have a great look into the huddle, the pair in the lead, getting coached up. The smallest adjustments can make all the difference in a must-win set, or else they will drop down to the bronze medal game. 3 o'clock UK time, 4 o'clock Central European time, as the four compatriots head back out, and Gleed rips an ace. Being able to go aggressive, serving into the wind. We've seen that north end of the court really help the serve today, and a rare one in this game. Haven't had many. First one, I think, for the pair in blue, and not quite back-to-back as that one over the baseline. So a trade of points, but the mini break for Bayer and Gleed, and they need a couple more. And a good side out will start again. Bayo to clip the net and really avoid Bialykos. You can see he's giving a little bit more width on the shots.
Midway through the set, so plenty of time for both teams to make a significant move.
As that's tight, and Gleed wins it, firing into Freddie, who went up on the block knowing that was coming back quickly. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point set. As that serve is going to be scrambling. Freddie tries to play it off the net, but doesn't quite get it, and Isa Petrain rips the time out. And we are tied at 13 apiece.
Well, I'll tell you what, this really... just allowed it to slip. I mean, it's been really, really admirable, this, between Bayo and Gleed. I think as a partnership, they've really combined well over the duration of this weekend in Bridlington. But I said it before, they're not really having to work too hard for the points. It seems as though they're doing well connecting with certain cross courts and cuts, but a lot of the points which have come against Bialykos and Petrain have actually been of their own accord.
Yeah, we're definitely not playing their best volleyball, but all we need to do is turn it up, win the set, and force that tie break, and you can again have a reset in what is a terrific battle. Great to have the tour here in England for the first time, as the crowd continuing to fill in Sunbaked Bridlington. Back underway, 13-all, set number 2, as Nico Gleed with the block, and Kirsty Starr gets airtime opposite us, enjoying what she's seeing. Can't play, but you can definitely make some noise and support. And from down to up, as Gleed gets a touch, Bayo's gonna have time to get to that. Gleed has to go sharp on the bump to keep the rally alive. Another dig up, it's going to be tight, and Bialykos plays it two-handed, and it drifts long with the wind. Nico Gleed and Enrique Bayo with the sensational defense, and they are 2 clear, 6 away from an upset and a spot in the final.
Well, this has been absolutely extraordinary, and full credit there to Enrique Bayo. The hustle, the courage to chase after that one and salvage the points. Brilliant work.
We've got the Canadians watching on way above us, above the beach huts on the road, understanding who they might play in the bronze medal game. As Freddie and Isa don't want it to be them. Great side out there. As Gleed peeled off the net. The middle attack splitting the duo. So Isa Betrain back to serve. 15-14 down. Great pass, Gleed. Betrain reads the line, roll shot. Again, that one just holding up in the wind. That's going to be tight. And Bayo with the joust win. Bialakos with an appeal, but not really much of an argument. Well, maybe there is an argument. Isa Betrain. Oh, hold on. Do we have an argument? Maybe we have two different calls. Was it joust and then last touch by Gleed?
Well, referee's just conferring. That ball very tight. Both players touching at almost the same time. So
that's potentially what the discussion is. The first long conversation went in favour of Bialakos and Betrain. As Enrique Bayo
contacted the ball last. That's going to be the determining factor as to whose fault it is.
And it is given to the team in blue, so the referees are met twice, and that discussion is 1-1.
Get the points.
And it is 16-14 as Nico Gleed goes to that running serve we've seen so often in the wind. Bialakos goes early on two, runs it into the block, but they'll have control of the rally. That's an overset, and Gleed buries it. Calm as you like with two hands. Illegal now in the indoor game, but that two-handed power tip still legal on the sand. 17-14. What can Freddie and Isa do? Recycled possession. And that one off the block, off the antenna. Oh, hold on. Yeah. All three, because that definitely hit the antenna, but what combination of touches? Both players and the antenna. So the antenna, for those of you maybe a little bit new, red and white, sticking above the height of the net, marks out of bounds. And the call is indeed, that's what I believe happened. I think they got that spot on. And no question from Nico Gleed. So great teamwork. And that's a great job by the officials, because there is no signal for who touched it last. It's just, it hit the antenna if you're the line judge. So then trying to get that information. Great teamwork. As Freddie rips a serve, but rips it long. And is that the right decision there?
No, I've got to be honest, I'm
Ball in
not
play,
sure it is.
make them win it.
Yeah. Especially when you've had so many service errors already in this game. Just make them, force the initiative.
As Freddie hits the net tape and then blasts the ball halfway to the North Sea. Kirsty Starr's going to be on ball running duty. Good job, Kirsty. Get your steps in. But 2 points away, Bayo and Gleed. Can Freddie and Isa respond? Well, Isa does. That rips that one down the line. And we'll have a side change, 19-16. Can see them talking it over. What do they want to do?
Just looking to side out. They just need two more side outs. Betrain and Bialakos need a big defensive play here.
Great serve, Isa Betrain. That was going to tag the line. And Kike Bayo misses it. An immediate challenge. He tries to see a mark in the sand, and Isa Betrain knows that was wide. He does a really good job avoiding the sideline and contesting the mark. Our line judge, Herman Prada, confirming the exact mark in the sand. And I believe that is going to be out. Don't think there's many questions about that one. Indeed not. So the first mini break needed. All off the serve though. That cross court was going to tag the line and forced the English team not to be fully in system. What can Isa Betrain do at the second time of asking? Goes shorter. Well handled, Kike Bayo. Middle set. Well read. Isa Betrain rises from the sand. Fires. into Bayo, and Bayo goes with the sharp cut to bring up match points, and a shot that does deserve a round of applause.
It does. I mean, that was beautifully executed by Enrique Bayo. He has had such a good game on both sides, attacking and defensive. Unbelievable.
First match point, Bialakos, block out by Gleed. So great aggressive swing there from Freddie. And now he has to serve, facing the second of 3 match points downwind. So it's going to be a float serve. Goes a little bit flatter, doesn't want the wind to carry that long. Bayo, cut shot for the match. And Nico Gleed, Juan Enrique Bayo will advance to the gold medal game. Heartbreak for Freddie Bialakos and Isa Betrain, but they will have a chance to bounce back in 80 minutes time. It's going to be a tight turnaround as they will take on the Canadians, Luke de Greff and Diane Gannett. But as for Gleed and Bayo, they will take on the Poles.
That is absolutely remarkable for Nico Gleed and Enrique Bayo. They will, of course, have that home crowd advantage against Sheminsky and Chakarovsky, but I'll tell you what, those boys, they've had such a good weekend. Can they add a gold medal to the tally? Would be a great achievement. As for Bialakos and Betrain, they'll be very, very disappointed. Far too many unforced errors in that semi-final.
Yeah, a chance to go back to the drawing board for the pair. A quick turnaround sometimes is what you need as an athlete, right? You don't play your best, you don't have a lot of time to think about it, just park it and go. We will see them in action at 2 o'clock local, 3 o'clock European time. Next up though, in 20 minutes, we'll move on to our medal matches. As the first up, our women's bronze medal game. We will have Melina Mole and Katarina Hjeltnes from Norway. They will take on the French duo Sophie Duval and Mary Lou Palais. But we'll take a break here from Bridlington. Medal games coming up next on the Beach Pro Tour Futures European Series.